Hello everyone. This year, LevelUp IAS has decided to put all our prelims economy videos of PMP program on YouTube to be available for everyone. The PDF notes for the same is also available in the Telegram channel given in the description. These videos takes care of all the basics requirement plus PYQ discussions. If the response for these videos are good, we also plan to come up with current affairs, economic survey of India and budget session in a very concise manner for preliminary examination in the coming days on YouTube only. I hope you enjoy this video and level up your chances of getting selected in this year's preliminary examination. Thank you very much.
Yes, so for today we will be starting with capital market. What our plan is for next 2.5 days. In next 2.5 hours we'll be finishing capital market. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow we are dedicating it for external sector. While capital market से past में बहुत questions नहीं आते थे, but if you'll see last 4-5 years, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, a lot of questions have started getting asked. So we are also covering it थोड़ा सा अच्छे से. Otherwise I never used to cover it in a lot of details, but बहुत basic चीजें कराता था. But this time I've decided to cover it in details. External market is very important. External market में बहुत changes भी हो रहे होते हैं. जैसे अभी we have issues related to exchange rate and all. The external market is pretty big. We'll need a lot of time. We have lots of PYQs. We'll solve all those PYQs. इसके साथ ना आप लोगों का basic economy का preparation will be completed. फिर हम क्या करेंगे? फिर हम करंट अफेयर्स में जैसे इंडस्ट्रीज में जो अपडेट चल रहे हैं उससे रिलेटेड, एग्रीकल्चर में, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में जो वो वैसे वाले क्वेश्चन है, पावर्टी में क्या सिचुएशन है, दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स विल डील विद देयर. अब यहाँ पे देयर आर अ फ्यू स्टूडेंट्स फ्रॉम जीएस फाउंडेशन बैच आल्सो. उनकी क्लास अभी शुरू होनी थी. दे डिड नॉट हैव टू अटेंड फर्स्ट सेशन में मैं वो पढ़ा रहा था, इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड, एनपीए, वो सब जीएस फाउंडेशन में पहले पढ़ा चुका था. तो दैट्स व्हाई आई कॉल्ड यू ओनली फ्रॉम 11 AM वाला सेशन. ओके, तो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ कैपिटल market. Okay, also I'm requesting even the GS Foundation students to use the new booklet for capital market. I have added, कल रात में मेरे पास थोड़ा समय था तो I have added a few more things जो पहले मैं बस क्वेश्चन आंसर फॉर्म में करा देता था कि इन्फ्लेशन इंडेक्स बॉन्ड क्या है, तो बॉन्ड विच इज लिंक्ड विथ इन्फ्लेशन, ये मैं क्वेश्चंस में समझा देता था, बट अब मैंने नोट्स में भी डाल दिए सो दैट इवन व्हाइल रिवाइजिंग यू विल बी डूइंग इट. तो फर्स्ट लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज कैपिटल मार्केट. देखो, when it comes to borrowing money or when it comes to mobilizing money for economic, आपको अपने बिजनेस के लिए पैसे लेने हैं, तो वन इज शॉर्ट टर्म मनी टेकिंग मैकेनिज्म. वो मनी मार्केट में आता है. जैसे when government borrows money for through treasury bills का period is less than 1 year, so that will be in money market. But when you have to borrow for longer period, that borrowing will come from capital market. तो एक डिफरेंस बिटवीन मनी मार्केट एंड कैपिटल मार्केट इज, अभी तक जब हम बैंकिंग सेक्टर एक्सेट्रा पढ़ रहे थे दैट वाज प्राइमरली मनी मार्केट, बट नाउ वी आर जंपिंग ऑन टू कैपिटल मार्केट. तो कैपिटल मार्केट इज द फाइनेंशियल मार्केट फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म फंड. पहला डिफरेंस समझो इसे मनी मार्केट से, यू शुड बी एबल टू डिफरेंशिएट इट. इट हेल्प्स टू जनरेट बल्क फंड फॉर गवर्नमेंट एंड इंडस्ट्रीज बोथ. तो गवर्नमेंट भी लॉन्ग टर्म गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स इशू करती है 40 years, 30 years, so that is capital market में it's issuing it. Similarly, corporate sector also, they may be issuing short-term bonds, but they may also issue long-term bonds. So when they issue long-term bonds, long-term corporate bonds, that is in the capital market. Okay, now most common capital markets are stock market and bond market. Government का bond market या corporate sector का bond market, और stock market where you go and sell company shares or do IPO and get money from it. So stock market allows companies to raise capital by selling shares of ownership in the company, or this is known as equity financing. For example, let's say there is this company. इसके initially the shareholders contributed 1 crore rupees and they have 10,000 shares. They have 10,000 shares of the company. जो shareholders ने शुरू में company में invest करके 10,000 shares create किए. Now they want to mobilize more money. So what they'll do is they will अभी तक this was a private limited company. Only some private people, 3-4 people who contributed 1 crore rupees were owning the company. First they'll make it a public limited company and then they'll do its IPO. They'll do its IPO, that is some of the shares will be made available in the market. Can you buy this share and give us the money? Are we understanding it? You buy this share and give us the money. अब इन्होंने जब IPO किया and someone bought these shares, like let's say some people came XYZ and they bought shares of the company, they gave them money. Is this money for short term or long term? This money is not redeemable. They cannot come back to them and say, take your shares back and give me my money. No, they cannot do that. So this is like very long term investment. कहाँ जाएगा? Capital market. Are we getting it? These shares are not redeemable. मैंने जब अगर मैं कल लेवल अप का IPO करता हूं and let's say you people buy some shares of level up and you give money to level up. अब you are partial owner of the company, but you cannot come back tomorrow and say कि please take your shares back and give me my money back. No, you can sell those shares to someone else and take money from them, but company को तो long term पैसा मिल गया ना? Are we understanding how shares वाला mechanism is a long term mechanism? Mechanism for getting money for long term. ऐसे bonds are debt. Bonds are debt. जब आप stock market में जा रहे हो, you are using equity financing mechanism. But when you are issuing bonds, that is debt financing mechanism. Now, debt finance is redeemable, but after many years. If it's more than 1 year, it is long-term debt, and long-term debt redeemable होगा, but after some time after long term. यहाँ पे government can also borrow and corporate sector can also borrow. तो when we talk about capital market, we talk about these two mechanisms. One, you can go to stock market, other you can go to bond market. Now securities market, तो इनको ना हम securities market भी बोलते हैं. Securities market में you can have shares, preference shares, derivatives as well as debt instruments. तो basically हम बोल रहे हैं security market में एक share instrument होगा, एक debt instrument होगा. अभी we'll understand the difference between equity shares, preference shares, derivatives. ये सारी चीजें हम पढ़ेंगे, don't worry. We'll understand that. For now, assume कि they are shares. So this thing is called security market also. So security market में you have a shares वाला option और security market में you have debt वाला option. In case of shares, investors have a share in the capital and profit. In case of debt, अगर I have issued some bond and you have bought that bond, you have taken that bond. Let's say that bond is of 10 years. Do you have ownership in this company for 10 years? No. You do not have. When you bought the shares, you get the ownership of the company. But bond में you don't have any share in the capital. You don't have any share in the ownership of the company. Second, bonds में भी जैसे हमने shares की बात करी तो shares में भी ऐसे ही equity shares हो सकता है, preference share हो सकता है, derivatives हो सकता है. ऐसे bonds में भी you can have bonds, debentures. It is just lending to the company and the company is liable to pay interest on the capital borrowed and eventually return the principal amount also. Now, हमने बोला bonds में there is bond, there is debenture. So debenture is basically unsecured bond. Unsecured bond is called debenture. When it is secured, जैसे एक corporate player हूं मैं and I want to borrow 1 crore rupees from Rahul. तो राहुल में से कि give some security. If I give them security, ये ले मेरे land के papers ले ले for security. Then these are bonds. But when I borrow this money without security, what will it be called? Debenture. हम सबने bonds वैसे government bonds पढ़ा हुआ है तो I'm not going into, पर bonds are methods of taking debt. That is why debt financing में bonds आ रहे हैं. Bonds जब long term है तो capital market में है, right? And bonds जब unsecured है, they are known as debentures. Unsecured bonds are known as debentures. Okay. All debentures are bonds, but not all bonds are debentures. Do we understand this? Unsecured bonds are debentures, है ना? तो debentures are basically a type of bonds, unsecured ones. But all bonds cannot be called debentures because some bonds secured भी होंगे, they cannot be debentures. So both bonds and debentures may be convertible. अच्छा, इस convertible वाली बात को भी थोड़ा समझते हैं. What is convertible? अच्छा, कन्वर्टेबल बॉन्ड हम नीचे पढ़ रहे हैं, कन्वर्टेबल बॉन्ड्स हम नीचे पढ़ेंगे डिटेल में. लेट्स कम टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन शेयर्स, डिबेंचर्स एंड बॉन्ड्स. यू में से कि सर आपने शेयर्स के बीच के डिफरेंसेस नहीं बताए. व्हाट इज शेयर, व्हाट इज प्रेफरेंस शेयर एंड व्हाट इज डेरिवेटिव्स, आते हैं उसमें भी. बट फॉर नाउ लेट अस इन अ टेबुलर फॉर्म अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन शेयर्स, डिबेंचर्स एंड बॉन्ड्स. बोथ दीज आर बॉन्ड्स, अनसिक्योर्ड बॉन्ड्स, सिक्योर्ड, and these are shares. तो पहली चीज है, shares are fractions of company's capital or they give you ownership over company. Do we understand this? तो if कल LevelUp IAS 1 lakh shares है, उसमें से you have let's say 10,000 shares, तो you own 10% of the company, you have ownership over the 10% of the assets, राइट? कंपनी का जितना भी एसेट है यू काइंड ऑफ हैव. अभी आप उस पे आके ये नहीं बोलोगे मुझे टीवी दे दो निकाल के, इट डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट. बट ओवरऑल कंपनी का जो वैल्यू है उसका 10% आपका है. That happens in case of shares. But in case of debentures or in case of bonds, because these are debt instrument, they will not give you ownership, they will not give you any right over the capital. Got it? Second, performance of shares is dependent on what? It's dependent on the market. शेयर प्राइसेस बढ़ सकते हैं, शेयर प्राइसेस गिर सकते हैं. बट बॉन्ड्स में तो आपको इफ द बॉन्ड वाज इशूड विद दिस थिंग कि एवरी ईयर आई विल बी पेइंग यू 8% इंटरेस्ट, every year I'll be paying you 8% interest, you will keep getting 8% interest, right? It doesn't have to do anything with the market. If you're not getting your interest, you can go to NCLT and say देखो मेरे पैसे नहीं दे रहा ये. Can you go to NCLT? बोलो इंसॉल्वेंसी प्रोसेस शुरू करो इसके अगेंस्ट. अभी हम अपन ने पढ़ा, जो दूसरा बैच है, पीएमपी वाला बैच है, उसमें हमने अभी पढ़ा यू कैन गो टू एनसीएलटी, है ना, अगर आपके पैसे टाइमली नहीं मिल रहे हैं. डिबेंचर्स अब देखो अनसिक्योर्ड है, तो विल द इंटरेस्ट रेट बी हायर? यस. तो डिबेंचर्स आर रिस्की इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड thus they are usually not backed by collateral. Investors make investment decision on the basis of credit rating and reputation of the company. In fact, in दोनों में credit rating is something that plays a role. If the borrower has good credit rating, उसको you will be ready to buy that person's bonds even at lower interest rate because credit rating अच्छा है, पैसे डूबने के chances कम है. Whereas if borrower has bad credit rating, you will either not give loan to this person, or when you will give this loan to this person, you will give it at very high interest rate because risk involved is very high. Now यहाँ पे fractional ownership है, यहाँ पे नहीं है. तो कंपनी में पे डिविडेंड टू द शेयर होल्डर्स. शेयर होल्डर्स को प्रॉफिट का एक कंपोनेंट मिल सकता है, whereas debenture holders receive interest payment periodically. It depends on issuing company's performance too. Bond owners receive interest on accrual basis. That doesn't depend on the company's performance. Shares are highly liquid. You can sell shares very easily, but bonds and debentures are slightly less liquid. Bonds may be saleable in the market, but वो debt को sell करना is slightly more difficult. Then shares don't have credit rating. Credit rating is for credit. When you are giving loan to someone, तब उसका rating होगा. तो what will not have? Shares don't have credit rating, but bonds, debentures will have credit rating. Okay. Now let's go into shares and let's understand types of shares. हमने देखो एक तो equity share था, दूसरा क्या था? Preference shares and derivatives. We had divided. Now there can be many more divisions. अब उस सब में जाते रहेंगे तो है ना, ROI भी होना चाहिए. When we are studying something, it should be like क्या इससे क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं, else we can do PhD only in stock market, है ना. my younger brother is preparing for CA. कल वो मुझे बहुत सारा ज्ञान दे रहा था बैठ के. आपको ये नहीं पता, आपको ये नहीं पता, आपको ये नहीं पता मर्जर कैसे होता है, आपको ये नहीं पता, क्योंकि वो सब पढ़ रहा है. इज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर सीए, तो वो सारी चीजें कर रहा है और हम वो सारी चीजें भी पढ़ सकते हैं. बट आरओआई अच्छा नहीं है, तो हम बेसिक लेवल पे अपना प्रिपरेशन करेंगे. विल डू ऑल द पीवाईक्यूज, विल सी दैट आर वी एबल टू डू ऑल द पीवाईक्यूज. इफ वी आर एबल टू डू ऑल दैट, इट मींस आवर प्रिपरेशन इज काइंड ऑफ सॉर्टेड. ओके, तो वी विल डिवाइड शेयर्स into three types. एक तो है equity shares. Equity shares are just normal shares. यहाँ पे ordinary stocks issued by a company. एक company के 1 लाख शेयर थे, 1 लाख शेयर्स में से you own 5,000 shares. If a company had 1 lakh shares total, you own 5,000 shares. You have how much equity? You have 5% ownership over the company. You will have 5% ownership over the dividend also. You will have 5% ownership over the decision making also. जब वोटिंग शेयर आएगा तो आपको 5% वोट मिलेगा. So this is like ordinary stock for the purpose of raising capital to expand business. The investor gets partial ownership over the company. The number of equity shares an investor buy is their portion of ownership in the company, and they are non-redeemable. Non-redeemable matlab you cannot come back and say take your shares and give me my money back. You cannot do that. This is not doable. Are we understanding this? Equity shares are non-redeemable and therefore act as long-term source of financing for companies. That is why in the capital market. अब benefit क्या मिलेगा? If you are equity shareholder, आपके shares के prices बढ़ सकते हैं. That is capital appreciation. दूसरा benefit है जो profit का share shareholders में distribute हो रहा है dividend. You may be getting dividend, but these benefits are not fixed and are fluctuating. If the company is not making profit, you will not be getting dividend. Or if the company decides कि we are making profit but we are not distributing profit among shareholders, you may not get dividend. But bonds या debenture holder होते, would you have got interest payment? You would have got interest payment. Now, what are preference shares? What are preference shares? Shares तो समझ में आ गया. अब preference shares are also giving you ownership over the company. Preference shares are also giving you ownership over the company, but you get preferential rights over dividend payment and payment of capital, repayment of capital. What does that mean? It means that देखो जो equity holder, normal equity holder था, that person may not get dividend every year. Company may decide 1 lakh shares है, he owns 5% of the share, 5,000 shares. Company decides कि हमारे पास we have made a profit of 1 crore rupees. Let us keep 90 lakh rupees in the company. 10 lakh rupees distribute कर देते हैं किसमें? Shareholders में. So there are 1 lakh shares. 10 for every share 10 rupees will be distributed. He will get 5,000 share के लिए 50,000 rupees. He got that dividend, but it dependent on the company. How much dividend will they be paying? And that will come when profit is being made. Whereas यहाँ पे क्या है? These shares may offer fixed dividends. Preference shares में you are getting ownership over the company too, plus you are getting what? Fixed dividends. Preferred then do you remember if the company is liquidated? कंपनी हमने अभी इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड के अंदर लिक्विडेट किया था कंपनी को, तो सबसे पहले वी गिव द मनी टू इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी प्रोसीजर, देन वर्कमैन ड्यूज, secured creditors, unsecured creditors and so way. Then we had preference shareholders. उसके बाद थे equity holders. तो जब liquidation होगा and money has to be given back, who will get priority among shareholders? Preference shareholders. So they have dividend, they have rights over capital before other equity holders. So preferred shareholders are given their dividend before equity shareholder. अच्छा, they're given dividend यहाँ पे भी. In terms of priority and repayment of capital, preference shares can be ranked between debt and equity. तो सारे debt payment हो जाएंगे, but equity से पहले किसका payment होगा? Preference shareholders का. अभी हमने वो फ्लो चार्ट देखा था इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड में. फर्स्ट इंसॉल्वेंसी प्रोसीजर में जो पैसा खर्च हो रहा है, देन डेट वाले, वर्कमेन्स ड्यू, बाकी सारे डेट, देन प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर्स एंड देन नॉर्मल इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स. नॉर्मल इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स गेट मनी एट द लास्ट. प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर को उनसे पहले पैसा मिल जाता है. दे आर आल्सो अमंग्स द लास्ट पीपल टू गेट मनी, बट दे गेट मनी बिफोर normal equity shareholders, and therefore in terms of priority and repayment of capital, preference shares can be ranked between debt and equity. Debt वालों को पहले मिल जाएगा, equity वालों को उनसे बाद में. बीच में किसको मिलेगा? Preference shareholders. Okay. In case of bankruptcy, preferred shareholders, preference shareholders get priority over common shareholders. Okay. At any point of time, preference shares can be converted into equity shares. This may also happen. Preference shares can be redeemed after a certain period of time. So the redeemability of equity shares नहीं था, but preference shares can be converted into equity shares, and preference shares can also be redeemed or after the company successfully achieves the desired goal. Basically क्या होता है preference shares में, जैसे let's say Vasu has a company, and Vasu comes and says कि buy my stocks, and I say I'm not interested. Then Vasu says कि चलो एक काम करो, you buy preference shares. Preference shares will ensure you dividend, fixed dividend, and preference shares, if at the end, like in 5 years, if I'm not able to achieve this, if I'm able to achieve this, I'll buy the shares back from you. It is redeemable also. So these kind of conditions can be put. So preference shares are, देखो अभी हमने बोला था equity shares are not redeemable. Preference shares can be redeemable also. Preference shares पे fixed dividend भी मिल सकता है. Do we get it? तो प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स आप तब इशू करोगे जब यू नीड, बिकॉज यहाँ पे यू हैव टू पे फिक्स डिविडेंड, है ना, तो यू मे बी डेस्परेटली नीडिंग मनी, राइट. Then limitations. Preference shareholders don't get right to vote or participate in the decision making event of the company. You have ownership, kind of ownership over the company, but you don't get right to vote or take decisions. Why? Because आपका ना preference, ये देखो, it is redeemable. So it's not sure कि आप when this preference share becomes equity share, then you will be able to vote. But if preference share is redeemed, तो आपका तो long term से है ही नहीं ना, तो वहां पे you're not given right to vote etc. नहीं, IPOs are not preference share, वो normal. देखो IPO क्या है, अभी हम पढ़ेंगे समझेंगे. When a company which is not public wants to go public, पहले वो क्या करेगी, वो IPO करेगी, इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग. देखो हमारे शेयर से खरीदोगे, people will come and buy it. What are they buying? They're buying equity shares. They're buying equity shares. They're not buying, मतलब preference shares अलग से issue होते हैं. तो IPO is normal equity shares का issue. Now you have bought those equity shares. I have got the money for long-term investment in the company. Now I'm running the company. Promoters are running the company or the CEOs are running the company and all. You are owners. आप मीटिंग्स में वोट कर पाएंगे, सारी चीजें होंगी. But if you want to sell the shares, you will not come to me. You will go to secondary market. You will sell it there. आपके बीच में जो भी बेचा जा रहा है, खरीदा जा रहा है, उससे I don't have any. I have got money for long term. Okay, अभी आते हैं. तो do we understand the difference between equity shares and preference shares? Broadly difference समझ में आया? Then derivatives. What are derivatives? अब देखो, when we were talking about shares, we said if a company has 1 lakh shares, उसमें आपके पास 5,000 shares है, तो you have 5% ownership over the company. है ना? Derivatives are slightly different. Derivatives derive its value. Derivatives are vastly different from equity stocks. They are contracts that derive their value from the underlying asset. So derivatives are basically what? Derivatives are contract. Contract is like मेरे और वासु के बीच में contract हुआ कि वासु you will give me 10 shares of Reliance Industries at this price. कब? 1 year later or 6 months later or right. So what is the value of this derivative? This value of this derivative is determined by the underlying asset. Contract के underlying asset क्या है? 10 shares of Reliance Industries. तो इसके अंदर equity shares हो सकते हैं, asset can be. देखो यहाँ पे हम बोल रहे हैं derivatives are vastly different equity stocks. They are contracts that derive their value from any underlying assets. This asset can be equity stock, जैसे मैंने बोला Reliance का 10 shares. This asset can be currency pair, like in our contract we may say you will give me $1,000 at this exchange, $1,000 at this rupee वाला, तो डॉलर रुपी का पेयर होगा उसमें. तो देयर में बी करेंसी कि 1 year later I will take this much dollars from you at this price. This is a contract. तो इस contract का value will be determined by underlying asset. ऐसे ही it may be this derivative. Derivative is what? It's a contract. It may be a contract for some commodity, gold, let's say. हमारा डील क्या हुआ है? This contract is saying you will give me 1 kg of gold in 70 lakh rupees. I'll give you 70 lakh rupees, you will give me 1 kg of gold. तो दिस अब इस डेरिवेटिव का वैल्यू इज डिटरमाइंड बाय अंडरलाइंग एसेट. इस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए अंडरलाइंग एसेट क्या हो गया? कमोडिटी गोल्ड. और दिस कमोडिटी कुड हैव बीन राइस, दिस कमोडिटी कुड हैव बीन व्हीट. 1000 kg of rice, 1000 kg of wheat. So derivatives are not shares. Derivatives are not giving you ownership over a part of the company. Derivatives are like, these are contracts whose value is determined by underlying asset. Let's say हमारा contract ये है कि Vasu will provide me 1 kg of gold in 70 lakh rupees. 1 kg of gold in 70 lakh. So I'll pay him 70 lakh rupees 1 year later. He'll provide me 1 kg of gold. Contract ये है. Suppose gold prices go to 1 crore 20 lakhs. तो क्या ये जो अपना contract है, जो suppose I hold it, I am supposed to buy it from him in 70 lakh rupees. तो will its value be higher? More people would be like, मुझे बेच दे ये derivative. Would they want it? Because you will get gold in 70 lakh rupees, but real market price of gold has become 1 crore rupees. है ना? तो अंडरलाइंग एसेट का वैल्यू कैसे फ्लक्चुएट हो रहा है, उससे इसका प्राइस डिटरमाइन होगा. किसका? डेरिवेटिव का. तो डेरिवेटिव डेराइव इट्स वैल्यू फ्रॉम अंडरलाइंग एसेट. थोड़ा समझ में आया? अभी हम फ्यूचर्स, ऑप्शंस, उन सब में भी जाएंगे, थोड़ा थोड़ा और समझ में आएगा. बट इफ यू राइट नाउ क्लोज योर आई एंड थिंक ऑफ शेयर्स, प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स एंड डेरिवेटिव्स, विल यू बी ब्रॉडली एबल टू डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन देम? शेयर्स, नॉर्मल इक्विटीज, डिविडेंड मिल सकता है, वोटिंग राइट्स है और नॉन रिडीमेबल है. प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स, नॉट प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स, you get preference in dividend payment as well as preference in repayment. Liquidation ke time you get preference, but you don't get voting rights, and these are redeemable too. This can also be converted into equity shares. Derivatives are basically contract for some underlying asset. That underlying asset may be equity, it may be some currency pair, it may be commodity. That underlying asset may be this. It can be like, you'll give me $100 at this many rupee, right? This can also be a contract. This is derivative. Do we get it? Do we understand this? Okay. Now derivatives can also be classified as futures and options. Ab what are futures and options? Derivatives को हम क्लासिफाई कर रहे हैं किसमें? Derivatives. So derivatives are what? Derivatives are basically contracts. We are classifying these contracts into future and option. मेरे को लगता है future और option पे क्वेश्चन आने के चांसेस हैं, because nowadays a lot of people invest in future and option, जिससे उनको लॉस हो रहा है. SEBI keeps on coming up with guidelines कि नहीं, ये सब नहीं करना चाहिए. फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शन में more than 90% of people are making losses only. A lot of people, a lot of such news has been there. तो यहाँ पे हम फंडामेंटल्स समझ लेते हैं उसका. न्यूज वाली चीजें पढ़ेंगे, करंट अफेयर्स वाले सेक्शन में पढ़ेंगे. तो what is future? What is future contract? Let us understand. Future contract simply is, भाई ये दो लोगों के बीच में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है. I will provide you 1 kg of gold and in you will provide me 70,000 rupees. कब? 1 year में. This is the contract. No one can go against this contract. You will have to buy it in 70,000 rupees. I have to provide you 1 kg of gold. Now gold prices may go to 60,000 or gold prices may go to 1 lakh rupees. It doesn't matter. This contract has to be fulfilled. There is no option here. आप समझो ऑप्शन में क्या होगा? ऑप्शन में ऑप्शन होगा कि नहीं खरीद रहे, नहीं बेच रहा. Those option may be there. अभी आते हैं उस पे. But did we understand derivatives में future वाला component? Did we understand what is future? In a future contract, two parties decide to purchase and sell underlying asset at a specific price on a specific date in future, this contract must be executed by both parties and neither party has the right to let the contract expire. I hope we're able to understand this. Pakka? We're all able to understand the future. So within derivative, future. Future to hona hi padega. Whatever is the contract, that contract must be executed. Options में क्या होता है? Options is also a derivative. The option will also derive its value from underlying asset. It gives the holder or buyer of the option contract the right to purchase or sell the underlying asset at a fixed price on or before a specific date. The option buyer is not obligated to carry out the terms. Option contract can be any of the two types. It can be a call option that offers right to buy the asset. It can be put option that offer the right to sell the asset. But वहां पे option है आपके पास. Call option that offers the right to buy the asset. Put option that gives you the option to sell the asset. But that is, you have the right to sell the asset. Right to sell does not mean you will definitely sell it. You will necessarily have to sell it. Right to buy, you have right to buy the asset. But if you don't want to buy it, you have an option. Future mein, did you have that? Future mein, you will have to buy it. Future mein, you will have to sell it. Option mein, if you have what? Call option, that is, you have right to buy the asset. If you have put option, you have right to sell the asset. Okay, so coming back here. Here, this transaction is supposed to occur. Let's say you have an option here where you have said ki in 70,000 rupees you will buy 1 kg of gold. You will buy 1 kg of gold in 70,000 rupees. Suppose this is the contract you have and this is what? Call option. Agar ye call option hai, what will you say? I have the right to buy it. But if I find ki yaar, prices have dropped, 70,000 नहीं 60,000 हो गया है, I may say I'll not buy it. But इसके लिए मुझे कुछ प्रीमियम पे करना पड़ेगा. I'll have to pay some premium for it. I'll have to say some premium for it. Did we understand it? ऐसे ही there is put option. Put option is I'm saying I will sell 1 kg of gold in 70,000 rupees. But suppose gold prices have increased. They've gone to 90,000. So put option में I can say I have the right to sell it, but I don't want to sell it. Is it possible? Yes, I don't want to sell it, but I'll have to pay some premium for it. I'll have to say pay some premium for it because other person would be losing. No, वो बैठा आपके पास right to sell था, मतलब someone was supposed to buy it. Now that person is not able to buy it, so you'll have to pay some premium there. This is option contract. So derivative में you can have future contract, you can have option contract. Future must be executed, option need not be executed. If it's a put option, you have right to sell, but you may not sell it. If it's a call option, you have the right to buy. Are we getting it? Option तो future option दोनों समझ में आया? पक्का? Now think of equity, preference shares and derivatives. Derivatives का value is determined by underlying asset. अब underlying asset का value can change. Underlying asset का जैसे price change हो रहा है, तो derivatives can be future, derivative can be option. Future में the contract must be executed. Option में you have an option of not executing the contract. You have an option, but for getting this option, आप तो अपने हिसाब से चलोगे ना फिर. When you have advantage, you will not execute the contract, right? So for this you must be paying some premium. So option में there is some premium has to be paid when you do not execute the contract. ओके, बात समझ में आई है? तो ये तीनों चीजें समझ में आ गई हमें, इक्विटी, प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स एंड डेरिवेटिव्स। डेरिवेटिव्स में फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शन, ऑप्शन में पुट ऑप्शन, एंड ऑप्शन में वी कैन हैव व्हाट, पुट ऑप्शन, ऑप्शन में यू कैन हैव कॉल ऑप्शन। पुट ऑप्शन में यू हैव राइट टू सेल बट यू हैव एन ऑप्शन ऑफ नॉट सेलिंग इट, ऑप्शन है ना ये। कॉल ऑप्शन में यू हैव राइट टू बाय बट यू हैव एन ऑप्शन ऑफ नॉट बाइंग इट, ऑप्शन है। फ्यूचर में दैट वुड हैव बीन कंपल्सरी, फ्यूचर में यू हैड द राइट टू बाय, अनदर पर्सन वुड हैव हैड द राइट टू सेल, तो आपको खरीदना पड़ेगा, उसे बेचना पड़ेगा। फ्यूचर वाज दैट, ऑप्शन में दैट मे नॉट बी देयर। आर वी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस? ओके, अब आ जाते हैं सिक्योरिटीज पे, बॉन्ड्स पे। अभी हमने इक्विटी शेयर्स देखे थे, तो वी हैव कैपिटल मार्केट में इक्विटी मार्केट एंड देन वी आल्सो हैव debt market. Let's come to debt. So based on fund raise, securities market can be classified into government securities market and industrial securities market. Now government securities market is backed by RBI, rather than saying backed by RBI I should say वो issue कौन करता है, RBI issue करता है। गवर्नमेंट को RBI की बैकिंग की जरूरत नहीं है, गवर्नमेंट की खुद की बैकिंग होती है ना, issued by RBI. It is also known as gilt-edged market. अभी gilt-edged market में थोड़ा सा समझेंगे। First let's come to industrial security. It's a market of securities of industrial and commercial organization. So when Reliance Industries issues securities to borrow money, it will be industrial security. Now, which has more risk, government security or industrial security? Industrial security. तो interest rate किसे ज्यादा देना पड़ेगा? Commercial bonds को ज्यादा interest देना पड़ेगा when compared to government bonds. Okay. Now let us understand gilt-edged securities. हमने बोला government securities are known as gilt-edged securities. What is gilt-edged security? तो any security which is of very high quality is gilt-edged security. देखिए, gilt-edged securities are high-grade bonds issued by certain national government as well as private organizations. कुछ private organizations can also be trusted so much that their securities may be called gilt-edged securities. So first of all, gilt-edged securities are what? High grade bonds or high grade securities. पहला point ये. Now, because देखो, as an investment vehicle, this equates to high grade securities with relatively low yield. Will high grade securities have low yield? Because more people will be ready to give money to them, so they'll have to pay less interest rate as compared to riskier below the investment grade security. तो जो riskier securities होती है उन पे interest rate is higher. But why the term gilt-edged क्यों use होता है उसके लिए? This term originates in UK, in United Kingdom. वहां पे जो गवर्नमेंट अपने बॉन्ड इशू करती थी ना, वो तो you will see in the past these instruments referred to certificate issued by Bank of England on behalf of Majesty's Treasury. तो जो ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट है वो बॉन्ड इशू कर रही है, उसका जो पेपर होता था, they were printed on customarily featured gilded gold or golden edges. The bonds which were issued customarily, traditionally, government bonds which were issued by Bank of England, they had what? Golden edges. And that is why, वो क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड था तो it was of what type? Very high standard, high quality. तो जो high quality security, high grade security होती थी, उसको क्या बोला जाने लगा? Gilt-edged security. And that term has continued even today. Like India में government security को हम क्या बोल देते हैं? Gilt-edged security. UK में भी government. अब now it may not have this golden colored borders, edges, but it is still called gilt-edged, indicating what? High standard, high quality, high grade of the security. So government bonds in UK, India and several other Commonwealth countries are still known as gilts. बात समझ में आई? But gilt-edged security can refer to any high grade security. It not necessarily be only government security. But government bonds are definitely referred as gilt-edged securities. ये बात समझ में आ रही है? Okay. तो securities में we can have industrial security, we can have government security. Now, एक तो हमने जैसे when we studied FRBM, we said कि FRBM prohibits RBI from buying government bonds in primary market. Secondary market में it can buy government bond, but FRBM prohibits government from buying bonds in primary market, right? तो क्या होता है primary market? मैंने अभी आपको बताया जब आईपीओ होगा तो आईपीओ प्राइमरी मार्केट में होगा। तो बहुत इन लेमन लैंग्वेज जो इश्यूअर ऑफ द बॉन्ड है या जो इश्यूअर ऑफ द सिक्योरिटी है, जब वो सब उसको जब पैसे मिल रहे हैं, वो जिस मार्केट में मिल रहे हैं दैट इज प्राइमरी मार्केट। नाउ यू मे बाय द बॉन्ड फ्रॉम, तो लेट्स से आपने गवर्नमेंट से बॉन्ड खरीदा पहली बार, गवर्नमेंट गॉट द मनी, नाउ यू मे कीप सेलिंग दिस बॉन्ड समवेयर एल्स, गवर्नमेंट तो हैज गॉट इट्स मनी, नो, this was primary market. Now rest of the transaction that is taking place, it is taking place in secondary market. Did you understand? ऐसे ही Reliance Industries, it wants to sell some shares and get money, so it will do it through IPO. मैंने IPO किया, मेरे शेयर्स मैंने बेचे, अभी जैसे रिसेंटली Hyundai इंडिया का IPO आया था, Hyundai इंडिया का IPO आया था, it was one of the largest IPOs of India. Around 26-27,000 crore rupees were got. So when they did IPO, what happened? They received 26-27,000 crore rupees for the shares which went into the market, right? अब Hyundai को पैसे मिल गए. This was in the primary market. I have got my money. Now Hyundai shares. Can you go to Bombay Stock Exchange and buy Hyundai shares? वो secondary market में transaction हो रहा है. उससे is Hyundai getting any money? No. Hyundai got its money in primary market. Government got its money in primary market. Now bonds may be sold between other entities now. That is happening in the secondary market. These shares may be sold on Bombay Stock Exchange or National Stock Exchange or any other stock exchange. That is happening in secondary market. Did you understand primary market or secondary market में main difference? Based on the nature of issue, securities market can be classified as new issue market or primary market, or old issue market or secondary market. Primary market क्या है? Here new securities are issued for the first time. Companies or government raise capital by selling stocks, bonds or other financial instruments to investor. When the issuer of the security is mobilizing funds, that is in the primary market. For example, initial public offering for stocks or issuance of गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड, जब गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड इशू कर रहा है या फिर एक स्टॉक का आईपीओ हो रहा है, दैट इज व्हाट, दैट इज प्राइमरी मार्केट. द इशू ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज इन द प्राइमरी मार्केट कैन बी क्लासिफाइड एज पब्लिक इशू और अदर इशू. यू कैन हैव द प्राइमरी मार्केट कैन आल्सो बी लाइक इक्विटी ऑफ द प्राइमरी मार्केट कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ पब्लिक इशू और कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अदर इशू. ये समझते हैं. अब देखो हम पूरे प्राइमरी मार्केट की बात कर रहे हैं. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड हियर व्हाट आर वी टॉकिंग अबाउट. प्राइमरी मार्केट, we're not talking about security market. तो प्राइमरी मार्केट में जब इक्विटी इशू हो रहा है, when you issue equity for the first time, that is primary market. You can do it through public issue or you can do it through other issue. Public issue means it's available for everyone to buy. For example, IPO. Let's say LevelUp IAS है, हमें कल पैसे चाहिए, तो what we'll do, we'll convert this company into first public limited company. अभी इट्स अ प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी, विल कन्वर्ट इट इनटू पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी और फिर हम इसका आईपीओ कराएंगे. आईपीओ में परहैप्स यू पीपल आर इंटरेस्टेड इन बाइंग द शेयर्स, तो आप कंपनी के शेयर्स खरीदोगे और कंपनी को पैसे दे दोगे. वी हैव मोबिलाइज्ड मनी. दिस वाज द इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग. एनीवन कुड बाय इट, नॉट ओनली यू पीपल, एनीवन कुड हैव बॉट दिस शेयर. दिस वाज इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग. देन फॉलो अप पब्लिक ऑफरिंग. जैसे ऐसे मानो कि इन द फर्स्ट राउंड हमने अपने 20% शेयर्स पब्लिक कर दिए, बट कंपनी स्टिल हैज 80% ऑफ द शेयर्स. What may happen in the second round? It may come up with issuing more shares. तो पहली बार जब पब्लिक ऑफर हुआ शेयर्स का, that was initial public offer. Then there may be a follow-up public offer also for mobilizing more money. But is it also in the primary market? Private placement. Private placement is I may go to a institutional investor, mutual fund वालों के पास जाऊं और बोलूं कि यार take 5% of my company and give me this much money. तो वहां पे am I issuing the stock for the first time? Yes. क्या मैं उनसे जो पैसा ले रहा हूं वो कंपनी में आ रहा है? Yes. Will it be primary market? Oh, sorry, will it be primary market? Yes. Will it be primary market? Yes, it will be in primary market. But here, rather than offering it to public, I have gone and privately placed those shares with some institutions. That is what? That is private placement. So public issue can be initial public offering, follow-up public offering, or private placement. Then there is other issues also. In other issues, you have rights issue. Right issue में क्या करते हो आप? ऑलरेडी शेयर होल्डर्स है ना, हम उनको बोलते हैं if you want to get more shares, buy more shares, you have first right. Rather than going to market, first I'll try to get money from whom? Existing shareholders. तो उसमें भी I'm trying to get money. I'm trying to get money. कंपनी को पैसे मिलेंगे. तो is it private market? Yes. But in rights issue, what happens? First, the existing shareholders get the right to buy shares. और इसे ऐसे समझो. Suppose right now these people 1 2 3 4 5 these people own 20% of the company, है ना. Now the company decides it wants to borrow. ये 5 लोग 1 2 3 4 5 ही है, 5 लोग 100% of the company own करते हैं. Now the company decides हमें ना और पैसे मोबिलाइज करने हैं, we need more money. तो they do this कि अभी कंपनी का वैल्यू 100 करोड़ है, let's double the number of shares और ये 100 करोड़ रुपीस को और इशू करो. But then they will say यार हमारा शेयरिंग कम हो जा रहा है. तो इसके लिए ऑप्शन क्या होता है? ऑप्शन होता है फर्स्ट वी विल गो फॉर राइट्स इशू. तुम ही खरीद लो भाई. We have to mobilize money. We don't want to reduce your shares, but we need more money. You buy it, and if you can't do it, we'll go to market. We'll go to other people who are not already shareholders. So this issue will be what? Rights issue. Rights issue समझ में आया क्या होता है? अब then what is bonus issue? Bonus issue को समझते हैं. देखो, suppose there is this company which has let's say these shares by these many shareholders. So let's say this X person has 100 shares. This X person has 100 shares. Now company decides कि for every 10 share मैं 1 share bonus देना चाहता हूं. So this person will get 10 more shares. For every 100 share, 10 more shares this person will get. So existing shareholders get more share. That is what? Bonus. That's also part of what? Primary market. क्योंकि नया शेयर जा रहा है ना, ये नया शेयर जा रहा है, so that's also part of primary market. Then sweat equity issue. Sweat equity issue is, let's say Rahul is working in the company. अब राहुल से काम करवाया है, उसके बदले में से इक्विटी से पेमेंट कर रहे हैं. He is also being offered some ESOP or some equity. तो वो भी that equity is being issued for the first time. That's also primary market. But is it a public issue? नहीं, it is not public issue. It is for people who are working. उसमें भी सब नहीं, जो अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे होंगे उन्हें ऑफर कर रहा होगा. और it is for existing shareholders. Bonus issue. और it is for again for existing shareholders. It's not public issue. It is other issue. Public issue में all the public, follow up, public offering, और private placement में भी I'll not go to any one institutional investor, any one mutual fund. भाई I'll go to कौन लेना चाहता है ले लो. Right? So here also it's publicly available, but it is available to big investors. So primary market में we can have these mechanisms. What were these mechanisms? Initial public offering, follow-up public offering, private placement, rights issue, bonus issue, and sweat equity issue. यहां पे हमने उसे एक्सप्लेन भी किया है. IPO, FPO. In both IPO and FPO, the issuer usually does not issue the security. The issuer appoints a. अच्छा, यहाँ पे हम बोल रहे हैं कि issuer खुद से, जैसे गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड गवर्नमेंट खुद से इशू नहीं करता ना, आरबीआई के थ्रू करवाता है, ऐसे ही issuer hires a merchant bank. In both IPO and FPO, the issuer usually does not issue the security. The issuer appoints a merchant banker on behalf of it to carry out the fundraising activities. Are we able to understand this? Okay. Now, let's understand the terms like authorized capital, issued capital, and subscribed capital. What is meant by this? The issuer can issue to the extent of authorized capital. Authorized capital means the maximum amount authorized by the memorandum of association of a company that can be raised by a company. So basically, when company is getting created, उनका ना एक memorandum of association बनता है. उसमें बोला जाता है कि आप कितना capital raise कर सकते हो. कर रहे हो नहीं, कितना you are authorized. How much capital are you authorized to raise? That is authorized capital. The company may not have raised all the authorized capital. The authorized capital of a company may be 1 crore rupees, but company from its existing shareholders, let's say 5 shareholders है, From these 5 shareholders, company may have got only 5 lakh, 5 lakh, 5 lakh, 5 lakh, 5 lakh. So authorized capital is how much? 1 crore. In future, it may raise more money, but right now, it has raised only 25 lakh. Memorandum of Association allows for how much raising of capital? 1 crore rupees. Okay. So did we understand what is authorized capital? Authorized capital means the maximum amount authorized by Memorandum of Association of a company that can be raised by the company. A company need not issue the share to the extent of authorized capital. Company को जब जरूरत नहीं थी तो it only raised 25 lakh rupees. It can issue less than authorized capital. The actual amount issued by issuer is known as issue capital. तो यहाँ पे issue capital कितना का वर्थ कितना था? 25 lakh. Authorized capital is how much? 1 crore. Subscription may be sometimes less than the issue capital. अब हम जब उसमें आ जाते हैं, किसमें आ जाते हैं? पब्लिक कंपनी में आ जाते हैं, पब्लिक कंपनी की बात करते हैं. तो पब्लिक कंपनी में ऑथराइज कैपिटल कैन बी आई वांट टू रेज 100 crore rupees. लेट्स से I want to raise 100 crore rupees. That is authorized capital. अब initially I may issue only shares worth 25 crore rupees. That will be issue capital, and I may say कि for every share मैं हर एक शेयर 1 crore rupees का बेचना चाहता हूं. I want to sell every share of 1 crore rupees. तो IPO में people will come and will say I want to buy, I want to buy, I want to buy, I want to buy. Please understand, authorized capital is 100 crore. I'm not raising 100 crore. How much I want to raise? 25 crores. तो what is issue capital? 25 crore. ये इतना समझ में आया पहले? अब I want to raise 25 crores. तो let's say I issue 25 shares. IPO में मैंने कितना ऑफर किया? 25 shares ऑफर किया, and I said you can buy this share in 1 crore rupees. You can buy this share in 1 crore rupees. Now what happens is, many of you find this 1 crore rupees to be very expensive, and only 10 offers come for 1 crore rupees. तो मेरा issue capital तो 25 था, but have I been able to raise 25 crore rupees? No. The subscription may be sometimes less than the issue capital. If 25 people would have subscribed to these 25 shares, then तो मुझे 25 crore मिल गए, but subscription can be less than the issue. If it is so, then it means it is undersubscribed. The actual amount subscribed is called subscribed capital. अब तीनों चीजें समझते हैं: authorized capital, issue capital, and subscribed capital. This company was authorized by its memorandum MOA. You can raise up to 100 crore rupees. But right now I don't need 100 crore rupees. So I go to market to raise only 25 crore rupees. I go to market to raise only 25 crore rupees and I issue shares. है ना? अब मैंने 1 करोड़ का शेयर ज्यादा बड़ा बोल दिया. Generally, if I want to raise 25 crore rupees, let's say one share is of 100 rupees. So I will issue 25 lakh shares. I will issue how many shares? 25 lakh shares. IPO में मैं कितने shares offer करूंगा? 25 lakh shares. I'll offer 25 lakh shares and people will come and book it. IPO के टाइम आपको जाके बुकिंग करनी होती है. Sometimes you will find that number of bookings are lesser. It means even 25 crore rupees का order नहीं आए हैं. Perhaps only 20 crore shares were, or 20 crore worth of shares were sold. So company was able to mobilize only how much money? 20 crore. That is known as subscribed capital. तो मैंने issue किया था 25 crore का, subscribe only 20 crore हुआ. If the shares were, if the issued shares were oversubscribed means I had offered shares worth 25 crore rupees, but demand for 50 crore shares came. इस केस में I can only, because I had offered only 25 crore rupees का share, I can only mobilize 25 crore rupees का share. But इसमें क्या होता है ना, a lot of people who apply for IPO don't get it. When there is oversubscription, then a lot of people who applied for IPO, I want to buy this company's share, they won't get it. But for company क्या हो जाता है? For company ये हो जाता है कि जितना मैंने issue किया था share, जितना value मुझे raise करना था, I have been able to raise it. But when I am not able to raise it, then I say that this company का share was undersubscribed, means people don't have a lot of trust in this company. तो authorized capital, issue capital, subscribed capital, ये तीनों चीजें समझ में आ गई हैं? Okay. Private placement includes offering shares directly to financial institutions, mutual funds and high worth investors. ये मैंने आपको बता ही दिया था. Rights issue, bonus issue, sweat equity issue, ये भी I think more or less we have understood. This was what primary market. Here, who was raising money? Company directly was raising money, or instead of spending money, it gave equities. Sweat equity में what did we do? Sweat equity में we said कि यार तुम यहाँ पे काम कर रहे हो ना, मैं तुम्हें I would have paid you in cash, more cash, but that would have led to money going out. I gave it to you in the form of equity. तो in a way कंपनी को पैसे मिले indirectly, otherwise this money would have gone to you in the form of salary. So that is why it's also a primary market का component. Are we understanding this? Now primary market में let's say all of you bought the company share. मैंने कंपनी के शेयर इशू किए, चाहे आईपीओ में, चाहे एफपीओ में, चाहे राइट्स इशू में, कैसे भी किए. You have got the company share. I've got the money. Now these shares are non-redeemable. You cannot come to me and say, sir, ये लो अपने शेयर्स वापस, मुझे मेरे पैसे वापस दो. मैं बोलूंगा I do not solve. I am trying to learn some Bengali. बस मेरे को एक ही लाइन आती है. For whom? For whom? ये तो सोचा ही नहीं मैंने, है ना? वैलेंटाइंस डे भी आ रहा है. नाइस. I should learn Bengali अच्छे से ना. पहले मैंने तेलुगु सीखी थी. For समीरा रेड्डी. जब मैं बच्चा था मुझे बड़ा क्रश था उन पे बोल रहा हूँ, है ना? तो मैंने आई लव यू बोलना भी सीखा था तेलुगु में. नेनु नेनु प्रेमस तिन्नानु. हाँ, for those of you who are from Andhra Pradesh would know कि is this correct? है ना? This is correct, no? You're from Andhra Pradesh? Tamil Nadu और Telugu are two different languages. But you know Telugu, okay. Anyone from Telugu, from Andhra Pradesh or Telangana? Correct था? देख लो, पर कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ. वहाँ I got to realize कि I love you बोल दे भाई. Why do you want to say in Telugu? People will understand that. Effective होता है. तुमने हरियाणवी में बोल के क्या कर लिया? ऐसे नहीं है. हरियाणवी मुझे बहुत पसंद है. मैंने बोला ना मेरा फेवरेट एक्टर अब है जयदीप अहलावत, हाथीराम चौधरी. मतलब even in the first season I was like too impressed with him and I felt like जितने भी हरियाणवी रोल ये आमिर खान और सलमान खान को दिए जाते हैं ना, वो स्टूपिडिटी है. They cannot play that role, they cannot speak that language properly. अब अपना जयदीप अहलावत रोहतक का लड़का है. रणदीप हुड्डा भी, पर जयदीप अहलावत भी है ना, रोहतक का ही है. और वो एकदम प्रॉपर हरियाणवी बोलता है तो फील आती है अंदर से. नहीं, गालियां बक लो, है ना? वैसे नहीं, वो ना वो वाला डायलॉग में ना बार-बार देखता हूँ, ये तेरा फूफा पहले से ही सस्पेंडेड हांडे है. समथिंग लाइक दैट. यू हैवंट वॉच्ड पताल लोक? दूसरे में भी बोलता है, बट ये वाला दूसरे तरीके से होता है. हाँ, मैंने देख ली. देखो, आई विल टेल यू, थर्सडे नाइट था या फ्राइडे नाइट था, या फ्राइडे नाइट था. हाँ, फ्राइडे नाइट. तुमने भी देख ली लग रहा है. हाँ, अच्छा, करंट अफेयर्स क्लास में बताया था. तो फ्राइडे को मैं क्लास लेके गया करंट अफेयर्स की, एंड रात में 12:30-1 बजे ना गलती से प्राइम खुलता है. कभी-कभी कुछ 15 मिनट का कुछ देख लो, फिर पढ़ने बैठ जाओ. तो मेरे को पता लोग दिखा. मैंने कहा 15 मिनट देखता हूँ, हो क्या रहा है इसमें. आई वाज लाइक 15 मिनट्स, जस्ट 15 मिनट्स, एंड 15 मिनट्स में मैं बंद कर दूंगा. मैंने अपना ग्रीन टी गरम किया, आराम से बैठ के देखना शुरू किया. मैं कब बेड पे गया हूं और कब 8 बज गए देखते देखते मुझे नहीं पता है. उस दिन फिर नोट्स भी, जो सैटरडे को नोट्स दिए गए थे, प्लान था 40-50 पेज देने का, 10 पेज के दिए गए थे. है क्या? हाँ, 7-8 पेज के थे एग्जैक्टली. जनरली नोट्स आते हैं 30-40 पेजेस वाले. वो वाला सीन था. तो दिस हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ, अब एक बार भाई को देखना शुरू कर दिया, फील ही अलग है ना? दैट्स व्हाई जब मैंने ये मूवी देखी थी ना दंगल एंड सुल्तान एंड ऑल दैट, तो उसमें दे ट्राई टू स्पीक हरियाणवी बट दे कैन नॉट स्पीक इट, है ना, दो दे आर सुपरस्टार्स दे कैन नॉट स्पीक इट द वे अ पर्सन फ्रॉम हरियाणा कैन डू इट, और जो फील वो देता है वो कोई और नहीं दे सकता। तुम लोगों का देखना अलाउड नहीं है। मैंने देखो फिर से समझो, मैंने 8 बजे तक उस दिन वो मूवी देखी, मैं 11 बजे उठा हूं, फिर भी पढ़ के मैं 4 घंटे पढ़ाया है। आई एम नॉट टेकन एनी ब्रेक। कल रात में भी मैं 9 बजे तक क्लास ली है। फिर आज के लिए आई वाज नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड। मैं आज सुबह 5:30 तक जगा हूं। मैंने 5:30 6 बजे तक जगा हूं, मैं 1 घंटे सो के आया हूं। तो इफ यू हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ कमिटमेंट, तो ये स्टूपिड हरकतें करना, रात भर जग के 2 दिन पढ़ाई बंद कर दोगे, वो दैट देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ डूइंग दैट, है ना। आई हैव पीएमपी में आई हैव नॉट कैंसिल्ड अ सिंगल क्लास अभी तक, है ना। करंट अफेयर्स में टारगेट प्री जब से चालू है तब से आई हैव नॉट कैंसिल्ड एंड आई विल नॉट डू दैट। तो व्हेन आई डू दीस स्टूपिड थिंग्स, आई एंश्योर कि आप लोगों का कहीं से कोई नुकसान नहीं हो रहा है, ठीक है। आप लोग जब ये करोगे तो आप लोगों का नुकसान हो जाएगा, तो डोंट डू दैट। लेट्स कम बैक, लेट्स कम टू सेकेंडरी मार्केट। लेट्स प्राइमरी मार्केट इज अंडरस्टूड, लेट्स कम टू सेकेंडरी मार्केट। सेकेंडरी मार्केट में वी हैव स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस और ओवर द काउंटर एक्सचेंजेस। जो कंपनी लिस्टेड है, जो कंपनी लिस्टेड है, stock market where investors buy and sell bonds trading, secondary market, here previously issued securities are traded among investors. Stock market क्या है, where investors buy and sell shares, bond trading platforms are also part of secondary market. It's an institution for orderly buying and selling of listed securities. Stock market पे आप क्या बेच खरीद सकते हो? Stocks which are listed. If you go to Bombay Stock Exchange, you will not be able to buy shares of unlisted company. आप जाके बोलोगे मुझे LevelUp IAS के शेयर्स दे दो, नहीं है भाई, this company is not listed. Over the counter exchange पे platforms for trading in securities that are not listed on a recognized stock exchange, that is over the counter exchange. But यहाँ पे भी ये secondary market है। अब जैसे suppose LevelUp IAS ने किसी को अपने शेयर्स बेचे होते, वो उसे कहां पे बेच सकता है? कंपनी लिस्टेड नहीं है बट वो उसे ओवर द काउंटर एक्सचेंजेस पे बेच सकता है, तो दैट इज सेकेंडरी मार्केट। वी गॉट द मनी, LevelUp IAS गेट्स द मनी, वो प्राइमरी मार्केट था। नाउ दैट पर्सन हु हैज गॉट इट कैन सेल इट इन द सेकेंडरी मार्केट over the counter mechanism पे, but these are also these are also what, these are also part of component of secondary market. Now regulation of stock exchange, regulation of over the counter exchange, everything is done by SEBI in India. So in India both new issue and old issue markets are regulated by Securities and Exchange Board of India. तो आप स्टॉक का आईपीओ कर रहे हो, आप स्टॉक को ईसॉप्स के फॉर्म में दे रहे हो, आप स्टॉक्स को कैसे भी दे रहे हो, दैट इज रेगुलेटेड बाय सेबी। ऐसे ही स्टॉक को सेकेंडरी मार्केट में बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज को कौन रेगुलेट करेगा? सेबी। नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज को कौन रेगुलेट करेगा? सेबी। ओके, लेट्स कम टू स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस। लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस। तो व्हाट आर स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस? स्टॉक एक्सचेंजेस आर मार्केट वेयर आप stock exchanges are places where you can buy and sell shares in secondary market, listed shares in secondary market. तो इंडिया में जो most popular stock exchanges हैं, we have NSE and BSE. BSE is very old, oldest stock exchange of Asia, and NSE has recently been created, 1990s में बना है। National Stock Exchange 1992 में incorporate हुआ at the recommendation of Fairwani Committee to promote transparency in the stock market. IDBI is the main promoter of the exchange. Some other leading financial institutions like SBI, LIC are also promoter of it along with IDBI. तो नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के शेयर होल्डर्स कौन है? नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज को कौन ओन करता है? IDBI, SBI, LIC etc. are the shareholders. It is the 5th largest stock exchange in the world by total market capitalization of listed companies. Of all the companies which are listed on national stock exchange, उनका valuation is more than $5 trillion as of September 2024 and is the 5th largest stock exchange in the world. Now this 5th largest thing may keep on changing. Please understand, कंपनी की वैल्यूएशंस बदल सकती हैं। इंडिया में थोड़ा सा इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रेस आएगा तो यहाँ के कंपनीज की शेयर्स की वैल्यू कम हो जाएंगी, है ना। यूएस में जैसे वर्ल्ड में लार्जेस्ट स्टॉक एक्सचेंज कौन सा इन टर्म्स ऑफ मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन ऑफ द कंपनीज लिस्टेड? न्यूयॉर्क स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, NYSE, न्यूयॉर्क स्टॉक एक्सचेंज। सेकंड लार्जेस्ट है नैस्डैक, वो भी यूएस का ही है, जिसमें टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनीज लिस्टेड है। बट लेट्स से यूएस में कल रिसेशन आए तो उनके स्टॉक्स के प्राइसेस गिर सकते हैं। बट अब पता है, जैसे व्हेन आई एम सेइंग नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन इज 5 ट्रिलियन, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन ऑफ नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, आई एम सेइंग नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में जो कंपनी लिस्टेड है, कंपनीज व्हिच आर लिस्टेड देयर, उनका मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन कितना है? मोर देन 5 ट्रिलियन। इन केस ऑफ NYSE, न्यूयॉर्क स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, व्हिच इज द लार्जेस्ट स्टॉक एक्सचेंज इन द वर्ल्ड, उसमें जो कंपनीज लिस्टेड है उनका मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन इज मोर देन 25 ट्रिलियन डॉलर, 25 ट्रिलियन। तो हम फ्लक्चुएट होके भी कहां नहीं पहुंच जाएंगे? 1 पे नहीं पहुंच जाएंगे, बट वी रिमेन समवेयर इन टॉप 10। वी रिमेन, NSE रिमेन समवेयर इन टॉप 10, कभी 7th पे, कभी 6th पे, कभी 5th पे, 8th पे, ये इट कीप्स ऑन वेरिंग। ओके, नाउ एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज हुई 24 में, NSE became top global stock exchange by IPO proceeds, marking a milestone in global equity markets. So in calendar year 2024, not financial year, here we are talking about calendar year. In calendar year 2024, NSE helped companies raise $19 billion through 268 IPOs. नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में कितने IPOs हुए, कितनी कंपनीज लिस्ट हुई जाके? 268, and it led to mobilization of 1.67 lakh crore rupees. This was highest of any stock exchange in FY24. Got it? Then there is a platform of NSE called NSE Emerge. Prelims में आ सकता है थोड़ा सा ये. What is NSE Emerge? It's a initiative by NSE for what? For startups, for small businesses. These companies get listed on NSE without an IPO. IPO के बाद लिस्टिंग होती है, but for startups, for SME, they can list on NSE Emerge, emerging companies. This platform helps SMEs and startups connect with investors and help them with raising fund. In July 2024, NSE Emerge saw its 500th listing. 500th MSME sector या startup has become listed here. यहाँ पे डाउट्स मिस हो गए शायद। सर, कैन अनसब्सक्राइब्ड एंड सब्सक्राइब्ड कैपिटल बी सेम? क्या बोल रहे हो बेटा? देखो, ऑथराइज कैपिटल वाज 100 करोड़, इशू कैपिटल वाज 25 करोड़। अब उसमें ऐसा कर लो कि ओनली आधा सब्सक्राइब हो पाया, तो 12.5 करोड़ इज सब्सक्राइब, 12.5 करोड़ इज अनसब्सक्राइब। तो नंबर्स में वो सेम हो सकते हैं, बट दैट्स नॉट समथिंग दैट इन रियलिटी हैपेंस। ओके, लेट्स कम बैक। NSE Emerge we have understood. बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, इंडिया का ओल्डेस्ट, एशिया का oldest stock exchange. It is Asia's oldest stock and was initially known as Native Share and Stock Broker Association. It was owned by stockbroker, but now it has been demutualized. That is made a public-owned organization. And Bombay Stock Exchange का ownership आप भी ले सकते हो. Bombay Stock Exchange is listed. BSE is a listed company. You can go and buy its share, and you can be one of the shareholders. Okay. Did we understand stock exchange, national stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange? National Stock Exchange कौन ओन कर रहा है अभी? Primarily promoter IDBI है, but then banks, insurance companies, etc. are also there. Bombay Stock Exchange is demutualized. It's a publicly listed company. Okay. Now let's come to understanding index. आपने सेंसेक्स सुना होगा, BSE का सेंसेक्स, निफ्टी 50, निफ्टी का नेक्स्ट 50, ये तो these are what? These are various index. अब देखो, what was CPI? Consumer Price Index. Consumer Price Index was measuring average change in price of these items. जो consumer, जो उसमें listed है, average change in their prices. When we say CPI is 140, then we say with respect to base year, 40% ज्यादा लोगों को खर्च करना पड़ेगा. Base year का CPI is 100. Today, if it's 140, then base year के comparison में you have to spend 40% more. Are we getting it? ऐसे ही using CPI, you can see growth. CPI of last year, CPI of this year minus CPI of last year divided by CPI of last year into 100 is the growth with respect to previous year. Inflation आप measure कर रहे हो. ऐसे ही we have index. Index measure average increase in prices of stocks. जैसे सेंसेक्स है, पहले सेंसेक्स stands for sensitive index. This is the index of BSE and measures the price movement of top 30 company shares. तो BSE पे जो top 30 companies है, they will have different weights. जैसे CPI में do different items have different weights. So on the basis of market capital, these top 30 companies will also have different weights. But Sensex is an index which will measure what? When we say Sensex is 25,000. नहीं, Sensex अभी कितना चल रहा है? 75,000, 77,000. Or when we say Sensex is 80,000, it has come down to 78,000, 79,000. What are we trying to say? In 30 companies का prices, उनका market capital कैसे कम हो रहा है, कैसे बढ़ रहा है? Average weighted increase or decrease. जैसे in CPI we were doing it in the same way. For Sensex is for what? 30 top companies. BSE में thousands of companies are listed. NSE में thousands of companies are listed. But BSE Sensex is an index which is measuring average weighted change in price of 30 top companies. Did we understand this? So when you hear Sensex is talking about 30 top companies. These 30 top companies are also known as blue chip companies. Because जब इतनी बड़ी companies होती हैं, वो generally good quality companies होती हैं, उसमें losses के chances या बहुत सारा price decline के chances are much lesser. Nifty stands for, अब देखो, we have NSE. NSE is a stock exchange, and on NSE thousands of companies are listed. On NSE thousands of companies are listed. But if you take top 50 companies और उसका एक index बनाओ, different companies will have different weight. Reliance Industries will have highest weight. It will be followed by other companies like SDFC, TCS, etc. जो भी वहां market capitalization में top पे होंगी. इसका जो top 50 companies का index बनाओ जो NSE पे listed है, that is known as Nifty. So when you hear the term Nifty, Nifty is an index of top 50 companies listed on NSE. When we say Nifty has increased by 1%, तो आज Nifty 1% बढ़ा, तो कल के comparison में average weighted price of these stocks have increased by how much? 1%. This is and then Nifty 50 is there, then Nifty Junior is there. Nifty Junior is next 50 companies. Largest 50 are 1 to 50. 51 to 100 would be Nifty Junior. So Nifty measures price movement of top 50 companies. Nifty Junior is an index of next 50 companies. How are top companies selected? On the basis of total value of shares that are traded in the stock market. So value of traded shares is price of one share into number of shares which are traded, or which is basically a free float market capitalization. On that basis, the companies are chosen. Let's come to, so we have understood stock exchange क्या होता है? Stock exchange पे companies listed है. तो उन stock exchange में जो companies listed है, using some of those companies, they may also make indexes. We have Bombay Stock Exchange के अंदर Sensex as a popular index, National Stock Exchange के अंदर Nifty 50 और Junior 50. Do we अभी Nifty 50 के साथ क्या था? Junior था ना? Nifty Junior, Nifty Junior. Nifty Junior, not Junior 50, Nifty Junior. So Nifty and Nifty Junior, these are some indexes. ऐसे ही ना, you will see indexes कई बार ऐसे बन जाते हैं. एक particular एरिया को पकड़ के, जैसे बैंकिंग सेक्टर को लेके, बैंक निफ्टी इतना बढ़ा आज, तो उसमें इन बैंक निफ्टी व्हाट वुड बी इंक्लूडेड? बैंकिंग सेक्टर की कंपनीज. Are we understanding this? when you hear this term, so there are many indexes. We do not have to go into every index. Index providers, बॉम्बे स्टॉक या सेंसेक्स कौन प्रोवाइड कर रहा है? सेंसेक्स कौन मेजर कर रहा है, कौन प्रोवाइड कर रहा है आपको, या फिर निफ्टी कौन प्रोवाइड कर रहा है? तो इंडेक्स प्रोवाइडर्स आर कंपनीज दैट डिजाइन, क्रिएट एंड कैलकुलेट एंड मैनेज इंडेक्सेस. सीपीआई कौन प्रोवाइड कर रहा था? सीएसओ, और यू मे कॉल इट एनएसओ, है ना? सीएसओ एनएसएसओ मर्ज करके एनएसओ बन गया है. तो कई बार गवर्नमेंट रिपोर्ट करती है सीएसओ पब्लिश कर रहा है, कई बार गवर्नमेंट रिपोर्ट करती है एनएसओ, बिकॉज एनएसओ के अंदर आ गए हैं सीएसओ और एनएसएसओ, राइट? ऐसे ही who provides these index? These are index providers. सेंसेक्स कौन प्रोवाइड करेगा? कोई इंडेक्स प्रोवाइडर प्रोवाइड करेगा. तो इंडेक्स प्रोवाइडर्स आर कंपनीज दैट डिजाइन, क्रिएट एंड कैलकुलेट एंड मैनेज these indexes. They have the responsibility to set rules that decide what securities to include in each index, how the index will be managed, and how securities will be added or removed. For example, MSCI, Standard and Poor, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, FTSE Russell, Selective, Morningstar, these are various index providers. First index, Dow Jones Transportation Average, was created in 1984 to measure the average performance of railroad stocks in India. India में index providers are subsidiaries of stock exchange. जैसे अपने पास stock exchange है, Bombay Stock Exchange, तो सेंसेक्स कौन प्रोवाइड कर रहा है? सेंसेक्स बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का ही एक सब्सिडरी प्रोवाइड कर रहा है. तो एनएससी इंडाइसेस लिमिटेड, इट इज द लार्जेस्ट इंडेक्स प्रोवाइडर इन इंडिया. इट मैनेजेस पॉपुलर निफ्टी इंडाइसेस. अभी हमने निफ्टी की बात करी, निफ्टी 50 की बात करी थी, और जूनियर निफ्टी की बात करी थी. हु विल बी मैनेजिंग इट? NSE Indices Limited. What is it? It's a subsidiary of NSE. It is the subsidiary of stock exchange. Asia Index Private Limited, or APIL. It's a 50-50 partnership between Standard and Poor and Dow Jones Indices Limited, the world's largest provider of financial market indices, and BSE Limited. तो 50% पार्टनरशिप इसका है, 50% तो BSEs are exchange. ये इसका सब्सिडरी हो गया एक तरह से. Asia's oldest stock exchange and home to iconic Sensex Index. Who's providing Sensex Index? Asia Index Private Limited. Now Asia Index Private Limited in a way is subsidiary of BSE. ऐसे ही NSE Indices Limited is a subsidiary of NSE. Who regulates index providers? SEBI. Index providers को भी SEBI regulate करेगा, ठीक है. Let's come to depositories. आपने कई बार ना अभी पास में पूछा, सर ये depositories क्या होते हैं? You keep on using the term depositories, depositories, depositories. What are depositories? देखो, अभी let's say Vasu wants to buy shares of Reliance Industries. तो Vasu would want to buy shares of Reliance Industries. He would not go to Reliance Industries and say, Reliance, give me your shares. Reliance would say, यार IPO के टाइम मैंने दे दिए जो देने थे, है ना? तो he'll say, okay. He may go to Rahul. Rahul, give me your shares. Rahul will say, I don't have physically available. मैं कहां से shares दूं? Shares are in dematerialized form, and they are held by depositories. They're held by whom? They're held by depositories. So depositories are what? Depositories, देखो, आपके shares आपके पास physically available नहीं है, आपके पास वो dematerialized form में available है, डीमैट form में available है, और soft copy form में available है, ऐसे समझो. And who is holding it for you? Depositories are holding it. समझ में आया depositories कौन है? तो now when you have to sell shares, when you have to, let's say you have Reliance Industries के shares, you have to sell shares, you will have to, you go to Zerodha or Grow, or Zerodha and Grow access what? Depository. They access your demat account which is with the depository, and वो बोलते हैं मेरा ये client है, he wants to sell his shares, and depository से वो share बिक रहे हैं. Depository में कोई किसी दूसरे account में कोई उसे खरीद रहा होगा. Are we getting a feel overall? What are depositories? Depositories are institutions that keep securities of investor in electronic format, soft format, or demat format. If shares were held by you physically, तो आपके पास यू हैव 12 शेयर्स ऑफ रिलायंस, आपके पास 12 शेयर्स हार्ड कॉपी फॉर्म में होते, आप बोलते आई हैव 12, बट नो, राइट नाउ यू हैव व्हाट, यू हैव अ डीमैट अकाउंट विथ अ डिपॉजिटरी, एंड इन योर डीमैट अकाउंट इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म में शेयर्स आर केप्ट. The depositories are those companies which provide you the facility of opening demat account and which hold your shares in electronic format. Did we understand what depositories are? Ab, when you have to sell your shares, let's say Ankit naam hai aapka, wants to buy Reliance Industries ke share. Rahul wants to sell Reliance Industries ke shares. So Rahul will अपने डीमैट अकाउंट पे जाके बोलेगा सेल दिस शेयर्स. Whoever is giving the highest amount, जो खरीदना चाह रहा होगा, that person will be able to buy the share. राहुल के अकाउंट से those shares will be reduced. Other person's account with the same depository, it may get added there. Physically फिर भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. Now Rahul in his demat account will be able to see I have sold the share. Now I am only left with 3 shares of Reliance. Earlier I had 10 shares of 7 shares मैंने बेच दिए. The other person who has bought it will be able to see more shares. But in where? जैसे Gmail आपको मेलिंग सर्विसेज दे रहा है, आपके सारे मेल सॉफ्ट कॉपी में वहां पड़े हुए हैं, राइट? Gmail may not be the right example, but नहीं, बैंक वाला, आपके बैंक अकाउंट में पैसे हैं तो आपको वहां पे एक डिपॉजिटरी सर्विस मिलता है, आप इस अकाउंट से इस अकाउंट में पैसे डाल लो, आपके अकाउंट में इतने, सॉफ्ट कॉपी फॉर्म में आपको दिख रहा होता है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म में आपको दिख रहा होता है, बट कैश कैन बी इन हार्ड फॉर्म आल्सो, बट शेयर्स नाउअडेज आर ओनली इन डीमटेरियलाइज्ड. ओके, अनलिस्टेड कंपनीज के देयर कैन बी शेयर सर्टिफिकेट्स now, but now new rules have come which is making this rule ki for most of the companies what would happen, share has to be kept in dematerialized form only. So depository is an institution or a kind of organization which holds securities with it, in which trading is done among shares, debentures, mutual funds, derivatives, F&O and commodities. Intermediaries perform the action in variety of securities at depository on behalf of the client. जैसे Zerodha, Grow, ये सब क्या है? ये इंटरमीडियरी है. आप क्लाइंट हो ज़ेरोधा के, ग्रो के, आपका अकाउंट ज़ेरोधा पे होगा, आपका अकाउंट ग्रो पे होगा, आपका अकाउंट एचडीएफसी में होगा, कहीं पे होगा. Those are intermediaries. Who will? Intermediaries perform their action in variety of securities at depository on behalf of their client. These intermediaries are known as depository participants. So Zerodha is what? Depository participant. Grow is what? Depository participant. Depository interact with its client investors through agents known as depository participants. For any investor client to avail services provided by depository has to open a depository account known as demat account with any of the depository participants. तो आप Zerodha पे जब अपना अकाउंट खोलते हो तो आपका एक demat account भी बनता है. You have to open a demat account with depository participant, and on your behalf with depository who will be coordinating, who will be taking action, it will be the depository participant. It will be Zerodha which will be dealing with it. The relation between depository participant and depository is governed by an agreement made between the two under the Depositories Act. तो Zerodha और जो डिपॉजिटरी है, डिपॉजिटरी में वी हैव सीडीएसएल एज ए डिपॉजिटरी, उन दोनों के बीच में रिलेशन कैसा रहेगा, दैट विल बी डिटरमाइंड बाय डिपॉजिटरीज एक्ट. इट इज स्ट्रिक्टली लीगल सेंस, अ डीपी इज एन एंटिटी हु इज रजिस्टर्ड as such with SEBI under the subsection 1A of section 12 of SEBI Act. In India there are two depositories, NSDL Mumbai and CDSL National Security Depository Limited. It is the first depository in the country. It was established by UTI, NSE and IDBI. Then we have Central Depository Service Limited. It was established by Bombay Stock Exchange, Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, SBI and SDFC Bank. It was established by them, but now CDSL is also a listed company. अब CDSL भी एक listed company है. This depository is also kind of listed. Are we getting it? Depositories. Now SEBI के बारे में fact, तो SEBI is the regulator. SEBI initially was created without a law, but it got legal backing in 1990 through SEBI Act, and it is responsible for regulating all these entities. डिपॉजिटरी भी, डिपॉजिटरी पार्टिसिपेंट भी, स्टॉक एक्सचेंज भी, इंडेक्स प्रोवाइडर भी, एवरीवन इज बीइंग रेगुलेटेड बाय होम, बाय सेबी। तो ये थोड़ा सा आप खुद से पढ़ेंगे। लेट्स कम टू these terms. Let's understand these terms, these basic terms. First is PE ratio. For any stock, when you hear the term PE ratio, PE is price to earning ratio. P का मतलब क्या है? Price to earning ratio. So it's basically this. Let's say एक कंपनी है, I'll simplify everything. एक कंपनी है जिसके 100 stocks है, and each stock is being sold. अभी if you go to Bombay Stock Exchange and you see its price, it is being sold in 1 crore rupees. 100 stocks and उसका market price क्या है एक stock का भी? 1 crore rupees. So what is the overall market capital or overall price here? Let's say this company makes a profit of 10 crores. है ना? यहाँ पे आप आओगे, PE is price to earning ratio. तो makes a profit or makes a earning of 10 crores. Price earning. Earning कितना है? 10 crores. So if you look at price to earning ratio here, it is 100 by 10, which is 10. So this is PE of 10. Now let's consider another company. उसका price is 1000 crore rupees. And earning is, let's say 10 crore rupees. इसका PE ratio कितना होगा? 100. इसका price to earning ratio is 100. इसका price to earning ratio was 10. Now किसका stock overvalued है? इसका price to earning ratio is 100. Higher the price to earning ratio, overvalued is the stock. Lower the price to earning ratio, undervalued है stock को। तो जब आप इन्वेस्टमेंट करने जाओगे, where will you invest? Lower PE में या higher PE में? Think of it yourself. आप इसका एक शेयर खरीदोगे, इस पे कितना पैसा कमा पाओगे? इसका एक शेयर खरीदोगे, उस पे कितना पैसा? When PE is low, it is indicating what? P, price by earning. Earning is higher. When overall PE is low, so for every price that you pay, earning is higher. तो lower PE वाली companies are undervalued companies. इनको ना ये भी undervalued, इनके prices बढ़ने के chances ज्यादा है. Higher PE वाली companies are overvalued companies. Price to earning ratio में their prices are already very high. That's why their PE ratios are higher. If you buy them, chances of they further going for increase in price is very less. तो आपके stock के prices बढ़ने का scope कम है. तो generally stocks with lower PE ratio are better ones. Now there are other factors also. जैसे PSUs जो होते हैं, उनका PE ratio generally बहुत कम रहता है. तो people would have said कि PSUs अच्छे नहीं, पर PSUs में problem है उनका management. Companies which have good management, उनका PE ratio ज्यादा भी रहता है, still people prefer to buy them because they have good management. They'll be able to increase their earning in future. And PE ratio कम हो जाएगा, issue नहीं. Or their prices will also keep on increasing. Okay, तो थोड़ा सा दोबारा से PE ratio वाला concept समझते हैं. In very simple terms, a company, I started like what? I started like price. एक company के 100 stocks है. Every stock is of 1 crore rupees. 100 crore is the total price. और एक इक्विटी का कितना प्राइस है? एक शेयर का कितना प्राइस है? एक शेयर का प्राइस है 1 crore. अब प्राइस टू अर्निंग रेशियो है. अर्निंग लेट्स से इज 10 crores. तो कितने शेयर्स है? 100 शेयर्स है. 100 shares are there. For every share, how much is the earning? 10 lakh. है ना? Earning per share is 10 lakh. तो मैं पी देखूं पर शेयर, तो पर शेयर प्राइस इज 1 करोड़, अर्निंग इज 10 लाख, 10 लाख इज 0.1 करोड़ लिख दूं, पी रेशियो इज 10। तो मैं पर शेयर भी देख सकता हूँ और ओवरऑल प्राइस के फॉर्म में भी देख सकता हूँ। इफ आई गो ओवरऑल प्राइस के फॉर्म में, तो ओवरऑल प्राइस कितना है 100 करोड़, अर्निंग इज 10, पी इज 10। अब चलो ऐसे समझते हैं, इसी में इफ माय अर्निंग वाज नॉट 10 करोड़, let me remove this. Here you are able to understand PE ratio, price, earning. Now suppose my earning was only 1 crore. If my earning was 1 crore, what was PE ratio? 100 by 1, which is 100. क्या बेटर है? ज्यादा अर्निंग बेटर है ना, तो PE ratio would be lower. अब समझ में आया? Lower PE ratio is indicating what? Undervaluation of the company, and those are the companies which will, अभी वो undervalued है, undervalued है मतलब उसके prices are expected to go up. Higher PE value indicates that prices are, the stocks are overvalued. जितना value नहीं होना चाहिए उससे भी ज्यादा value है उसका, तो in future its prices are going to come down. तो lower PE ratio is what you look for. Lower PE ratio is what you look for in a company. अगर आपको companies, आपको दो companies दे दी गई, दोनों are good in everything, in everything else they are same. In everything else they have good management, they have honest people working, you respect their CEOs, you find them good, दोनों का फ्यूचर प्रोस्पेक्ट अच्छा है, दोनों ही इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल में काम कर रही है, एंड बोथ ऑफ देम आर वर्किंग ऑन द लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजीज, बट देन एक का पी रेशियो कम है, एक का पी रेशियो ज्यादा है, वेयर वुड यू इन्वेस्ट? कम वाले में. इफ अदर थिंग्स आर सेम देन कम वाले में. बट अब देखो, एक गवर्नमेंट कंपनी, एक प्राइवेट कंपनी है, गवर्नमेंट कंपनी का पी कम भी होता है ना, पीपल आर लाइक गवर्नमेंट कंपनी है, धांधली होगी, let's prefer price. So you will see generally government companies have lower PE ratio, or some areas where future growth is not possible. जैसे अब कोल इंडिया की बात करते हैं, in future आज से 30 years down the line कोल इंडिया may not be playing that important a role, तो उसका PE ratio बहुत कम भी है, तो people will be like I would rather invest in renewable energy company, उसका PE ratio ज्यादा भी हुआ तो if everything else is same, तब when you have to invest, you invest in lower PE वाला company. But other factors also play a role. But price to earning ratio, have we been able to understand this? Okay. Face value and issue price. Face value is the actual value of shares. It is fixed nominal value assigned to a share by the company during its incorporation. Issue price is the price at which company shares are sold to the public for the first time during IPO. Premium is the extra price a share claims in the market due to higher demand for it. अब आपको इसमें शायद ज्यादा कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. Let's take an example and understand it. Let's say कल राहुल starts a company. डूबे की, राहुल कैसे दोस्त बना रखे तुमने, है ना? अब डूबेगी तो क्यों बना रहे हैं? लेट्स से वासु स्टार्ट्स अ कंपनी, उसकी तो डूबी हुई है, आज सुबह से डुबा ही रहे थे बेचारे को, इंसॉल्वेंसी करा रहे हैं, है ना? लेट्स से वासु स्टार्ट्स अ कंपनी. नाउ देखो, face value is the actual value of share. It is fixed nominal value assigned to a share by the company during its incorporation. So basically, when a company is getting formed, when a company is getting incorporated, we say that this company has 10,000 shares. Let's say this company has नई कंपनी बनी, इसके 10,000 shares, and each share has, let's say, value of 100 rupees. Each share has value of rupees 100 per share. तो इस कंपनी को सेटअप करने में लाइक व्हाट विल बी द इनिशियल कैपिटल नीडेड? 10,000 into 100, 10 lakhs. 10,000 into 100. CSET क्लास कर रही हो? 2 बजे से यू आर अटेंडिंग CSET? कर लो. गलती से हो गया 10 लाख और 10 करोड़ कहाँ थे? 10 लाख, है ना? यहाँ पे इफ आई आस्क यू द व्हाट इज द फेस वैल्यू ऑफ अ शेयर, इट इज हाउ मच? फेस वैल्यू is 100 rupees. Her share ka face value is 100 rupees. At the time of incorporation, this is what we decided. Her share ka face value is 100 rupees. So we at 10 lakh rupees, so we will ask investors कि भाई आप पांचों लोग इन्वेस्ट करना चाह रहे हो? If you all pay 2 lakh rupees, you will get 20% of the shares, and each share has face value of 100 rupees. There are 10,000 shares, you get 2,000, you get 2,000, you get 2,000, you get 2,000, you get 2,000. And every share has face value of 100 rupees. So if you get 200 shares, 10,000, if you get 200 shares, 10,000 shares, 2,000 shares, मेरा भी set week है. If you get 2,000 shares and 100 rupees per share, how much do you contribute? 2 lakh rupees. Because every share has face value of 100 rupees. Face value at the time of incorporation, हर share को आपने क्या value दिया? I hope we understand that. Face value is understood. Now, we have 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares. Company incorporate हुई थी. Each share had a face value of 100 rupees. अब सोचो, they work for 4-5 years and they increase the revenue of the company. They increase the profit of the company. Fine. And now they go for IPO. When they'll go for IPO, they will not sell one share in 100 rupees. Now, uska value has increased. So when they go for IPO, they give a issue price. One share is of 1 lakh rupees. They will say one share is of 1 lakh rupees. That is the issue price. That is the issue price. बात समझ में आई? तो IPO के time, the price at which you issue the share, you get issue price. So you may say issue price is 1 lakh rupees. You issued your shares in 1 lakh rupees, and let's say it is subscribed. All the shares have been bought, and 20% share के लिए company got how much money? 1 lakh into 20 lakh rupees. 20 shares नहीं ना, 2,000 shares बेचते हैं. 20% of the shares, 2,000 shares into 1 lakh rupees. How much did you get? 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 100 lakh, 200 lakh. You get 2 crore rupees. 20% of the company के लिए what did you get? अगर आपका issue price 1 lakh है और आपने 2,000 shares बेचे हैं, आपका issue price 1 lakh है और आपने 2,000 shares बेचे हैं, तो how much money are you able to mobilize? 2 crore rupees. अब you bought the share in 1 lakh rupees. Tomorrow you go to Bombay Stock Exchange और उस पे शेयर को बेचना चाहोगे. Someone may be ready to buy it at more than 1 lakh rupees. So prices are more than 1 lakh rupees. Then no one may be ready to buy it in 1 lakh rupees. People may be ready to buy it only in 90,000 rupees. है ना? So this was 1 lakh rupees was issue price and listed. Issue price was this. Premium is the extra price a share claims in the market due to high demand for it. So you bought the share in 1 lakh rupees. That was the issue price IPO में. But next day ही क्या हो रहा है? It got listed in 1,20,000 because there are people who are ready to buy it in 1,20,000. तो you got 20,000 rupees का premium. तो आपको IPO में शेयर मिला, वो लिस्टिंग होते होते 1,20,000 का हो गया. You are getting 20,000 rupees of premium. You are getting 20,000 rupees of premium. That is extra price. That is premium. So face value, issue price, and premium. Are we comfortable here? Then short selling. एक term होता है short selling. Just एक second. Let's understand short selling. What is short selling? Short selling is you don't have the shares but you still sell it. Short selling is what? You don't have the shares but you sell it. You borrow the shares and sell it. So right now, let's say shares are of 1,000 rupees. And you feel that prices of shares are going to go down to 800 rupees. Prices of shares are going to go down to 8. आपको ऐसा लगता है. So what will you do? You will borrow shares and you will sell them in 1,000 rupees. And in future, you have borrowed some shares. You have to pay the share back, and you think the prices are going to go down. You will buy them in 800 rupees. तो अगर you expect that prices of shares are going to go down, you will borrow the shares at high prices, sell it, and future में वो shares वापस कर दोगे by buying it at low prices. Are you making profit? This is how short sellers make profit. अभी हिंडनबर्ग न्यूज में था. हिंडनबर्ग what they used to do, they used to analyze companies, और जो कंपनीज बहुत खराब है उसका वो रिसर्च पब्लिश करते थे, पर उस पे ना वो पहले शॉर्ट भी लगा देते थे, शॉर्ट सेलिंग भी कर देते थे. शॉर्ट सेलिंग उन्होंने क्या किया, अदानी को हाई प्राइसेस पे बोरो किया, हाई प्राइसेस थे उसने, उन्होंने बोरो करके उसे बेच दिया, एंड देन दे पब्लिश्ड रिपोर्ट ऑन अदानी. अदानी प्राइसेस वेंट डाउन, प्राइसेस वेंट डाउन, नाउ दे विल बाय इट एट लो प्राइसेस, एंड जिससे भी अदानी शेयर्स लिए थे उसे वापस दे. डिड दे मेक प्रॉफिट? दे सोल्ड इट एट हाई प्राइस, दे बॉट इट एट लोअर प्राइस, जिससे जो शेयर्स लिए थे उसे तो वो वापस कर दिए, एंड द गैप इज द प्रॉफिट फॉर देम. शॉर्ट सेलिंग. तो अभी हिंडनबर्ग बंद भी हुआ है तो ना, दे मे आस्क यू बिकॉज दे वर स्पेशलाइज्ड इन शॉर्ट सेलिंग, so you should be, they may ask you what is short selling. What does short selling refer to? Short selling refers to borrowing the shares and selling it right now because you're assuming that in future prices may go down. Tab you will be able to buy it and return the borrowed shares. Beta. Beta क्या होता है? Beta, it's a measure of stock's volatility. How volatile the stock is in relation to overall market. तो ऐसे बोलो, if market has beta of 1.0, overall market has beta of 1.0, this stock is more volatile. Market थोड़ा सा उठता है, बहुत उठ जाता है. Market falls down a bit, overall market falls down a bit, it falls down drastically. So its beta is higher. Beta is measuring what? Volatility. So market has volatility of 1. If a stock is less volatile than market, it will have beta lesser. If a stock is more volatile than market, it will have beta higher. So it's a measure of stock's volatility in relation to overall market. By definition, the market has a beta of 1.0. Individual stocks are ranked according to how much they deviate from the market. Market बहुत गिर भी रहा है, फिर भी कुछ stocks हैं कि यार we are good, we are not falling that much, तो उसका beta would be lesser. So beta is indicating what? Beta is indicating how volatile a stock prices are. अब this was asked in 2022 या 23 pre में. बीटा क्या होता है ये पूछा था बस. ऐसे ही ना, शॉर्ट सेलिंग क्या है, हेजिंग क्या है, बायबैक क्या है, आर्बिट्राज क्या है. They may ask you these questions, and that is why I'm trying to make you prepared with these basic terms which keep on coming in news again and again. और अभी तो I'm doing some basics कैपिटल मार्केट वाला. I'll come with current updates also. वहां पे पिछले एक साल में जितने भी कैपिटल मार्केट के टर्म्स न्यूज में होंगे ना, I'll make sure that all of you are able to cover it, are able to understand it, और RTFQ में और टेस्ट में we are also solving MCQs on that, so that you are prepared with those topics. अभी I'm trying to cover as many points as possible, but again करंट में बहुत सारी चीजें और आ जाएंगी, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया वगैरह आने के बाद और भी चीजें आएंगी. विल डू इट देयर. बीटा इज क्लियर, शॉर्ट सेलिंग इज क्लियर. शॉर्ट सेलिंग का बीटा इज मेजरिंग वॉलेटिलिटी ऑफ स्टॉक. यस सारांश. उसका बीटा वो फिर देखो, वॉलेटिलिटी इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट कि मार्केट गिर रहा है तो वो भी गिर रहा है, मार्केट उठ रहा है तो वो भी उठ रहा है. वॉलेटिलिटी कैन आल्सो बी मेजर्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ कि उसमें कितना फ्लक्चुएशन है ना, वो बहुत ज्यादा ही फ्लक्चुएट कर रहा है, इट हैज हायर बीटा. ओके, लेट्स कम टू बुल एंड बियर ट्रेडिंग. अब देखो, इफ यू आपको कभी किसी सांड ने मारा है? डू यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट सांड इज? बिजार नहीं. तो सांड जब आपको मारता है ना, तो ऐसे उठा के फेंकता है ऊपर. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, वो सींग से आपको ऐसे उठा के ऊपर फेंकेगा. तो बुल मार्केट इज द मार्केट विच इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू राइज. तो जब आपका एक्सपेक्टेशन होता है कि दिस इज अ बुल मार्केट, व्हाट डू यू डू? यू बाय शेयर्स बिकॉज शेयर प्राइसेस आर गोइंग टू गो अप. डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग ऑफ बुल मार्केट? आप में से कभी किसी पे भालू ने अटैक किया है? भालू आपको नीचे दबा के अटैक करता है. भालू आपको ऐसे उठाएगा नहीं, भालू आपके ऊपर चढ़ेगा, आपको नीचे दबाएगा. तो when we say market is bear market is supposed to fall. go down. Here you sell the shares because you know कि फ्यूचर में आपको सस्ते में मिलेगा, और you short the shares. शॉर्ट कर रहे हो मतलब अभी शेयर्स बेच दो, बाद में सस्ते में मिलेगा, it will be available at cheaper price, buy it. That is bear market. Did we understand bull market, bear market? Why these terms have been given? Bull, bear. Right? So in bull trading, buyers buy more shares in expectation of price increase in future. In bear trading, the sellers sell the securities with the intention to avoid loss in the expectation that security prices will fall. हंस रहे हो ना? ले लो, मजे ले लो. Buyback. What is buyback? Buyback ना जैसे ना TCS gives you an option. आप लोग शेयर होल्डर्स हो TCS के, TCS gives you an option. If you want to sell your shares back to me, वैसे तो shares are non-redeemable, but buyback में TCS में come and says आप लोगों के पास shares है, I'm ready to buy it, but I will buy only shares worth this much money. If more people are selling it, तो फिर वो randomly select हो जाएंगे. कुछ लोगों के I'll be able to buy, कुछ लोगों के I'll not be able to buy. That is buyback. तो जनरली क्या होता है, लेट्स से TCS का स्टॉक प्राइस इज 4000 रुपीस, लेट्स से दैट, तो TCS will come and say I'll buy stocks in 4100 rupees. 4000 रुपीस में तो आप उसे मार्केट में भी बेच दोगे. I'm ready to buy it in 4100 rupees. How many of you want to sell it to me? Sell it. But I will only buy stocks worth 20,000 crore rupees. I'll only buy stocks worth 20,000 crore rupees. This is buyback. बायबैक से क्या होता है, जो नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स है मार्केट में वो रिड्यूस हो जाते हैं, तो पर शेयर वैल्यू, ओवरऑल शेयर नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स में पर शेयर वैल्यू बढ़ जाएगा कंपनी का. तो कंपनी का वैल्यू लेट्स से 5 लाख करोड़, नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स पहले 1 लाख थे, 1 लाख करोड़ थे, और अब वो थोड़े से कम हो गए, तो क्या पर शेयर वैल्यू ऑफ द कंपनी इज हायर, है ना? ठीक है. आर्बिट्राज, एक और टर्म आप बार बार सुनोगे, आर्बिट्राज. आर्बिट्राज क्या है? आर्बिट्राज है the same thing because of inefficiency in the market is available at different prices in two different platforms. So what you will do is, जैसे let's say in one market milk is being sold in 40 rupees per kg, the same milk is being sold in 39 rupees per kg in the other market. So you take advantage of this difference. You buy milk in 39 rupees per kg here and sell it in 40 rupees per kg here. Same milk है, प्राइस सेम होना चाहिए था, बट डिफरेंस है, तो मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं फायदा उठा लूंगा. दिस इज आर्बिट्राज. आर्बिट्राज refers to simultaneous purchase and sale of the same or similar asset in different market in order to profit from tiny difference in the assets listed price. जैसे we have Bombay Stock Exchange, we have NSE. Now Reliance Industries is listed both on Bombay Stock Exchange and NSE. But sometimes because of inefficiency in the market, there may be a price difference between stock price in Bombay Stock Exchange and stock price in NSE. तो जहां पे प्राइसेस कम है आप वहां खरीद ले रहे हो, जहां प्राइसेस ज्यादा है आप वहां बेच दे रहे हो. और अभी विल स्टडी अबाउट ADR. तो जैसे अब इन्फोसिस है, इन्फोसिस इज अ कंपनी व्हिच इज लिस्टेड इन इंडिया. नाउ इन्फोसिस वांटेड कि वो यूएस से भी पैसे मोबिलाइज कर पाए, तो इन्फोसिस कैन गेट लिस्टेड इन न्यूयॉर्क स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, बट वो वहां पे लिस्टेड होगा अमेरिकन डिपॉजिटरी रिसिप्ट वाले फॉर्म में. तो आप देखोगे इन्फोसिस EDR, विप्रो EDR, हम कल पढ़ेंगे EDR, तो यू विल हैव मोर क्लैरिटी ऑन व्हाट EDR इज. बट वन शेयर प्राइस ऑफ वन शेयर here in India on Bombay Stock Exchange, price of one share in New York Stock Exchange should be same, right? But suppose because of market inefficiencies prices are different, for some reason prices are different, so you will buy it at place where prices are lesser, you sell it at place where prices are higher. That is arbitrage. The term arbitrage is more important. जैसे जब उन्होंने बीटा पूछ लिया ना, बीटा refers to what? I was like यार ये तो फिर कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं. तो जो सबसे बड़े बड़े टर्म्स रहते हैं ना न्यूज में अबाउट स्टॉक मार्केट, आई एम ट्राइंग टू एंश्योर कि वो जो टर्म्स है हम सबको आते हैं. ये बीटा इज समथिंग जो रहता है, पी रेशियो इज समथिंग जो रहता है, शॉर्टिंग रहता है, बुल मार्केट बेयर मार्केट रहता है, आर्बिट्राज रहता है, हेजिंग इज समथिंग व्हिच, सॉरी,
हेज फंड्स का भी तो
हेज फंड्स में क्यों आ गए अभी तुम? अभी पहले हेजिंग समझते हैं। हेजिंग क्या होता है? हेजिंग होता है अपने रिस्क को कम करना। हेजिंग क्या होता है? हेजिंग होता है अपने रिस्क को कम करना। सपोज आई हैव 1 लाख रुपीज इन्वेस्टेड इन रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज, है ना? आई नो कि यार फ्यूचर में दैट 1 लाख रुपीज विल बिकम 2 लाख रुपीज, फ्यूचर में दैट 1 लाख रुपीज विल बिकम 2 लाख रुपीज, बट आई ऑल्सो सी यार थोड़ा ना पॉलिटिकल टेंशन हो सकता है, बिकॉज ऑफ विच रिलायंस के प्राइसेस में एक्चुअली कम डाउन टू 50,000, माई 1 लाख रुपीज में बिकम 50,000 रुपीज इन शॉर्ट टर्म, तो मेरा वैल्यू तो 50,000 हो जाएगा ना। तो आई विल ट्राई टू हेज अगेंस्ट इट, आई विल ट्राई टू रिड्यूस माई रिस्क। तो व्हाट आई कैन डू इज, यार मैं एक काम करता हूं, बिकॉज प्राइसेस आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू गो डाउन, लेट मी कन्वर्ट माई शेयर्स इनटू कैश। 1 लाख रुपीज में 50,000 के मैंने शेयर्स बेच दिए, उसे कैश में रख लिया अपने पास। अब अगर इफ प्राइस ड्रॉप्स आकर, it will impact only remaining 50% of the shares. So have I hedged myself a bit? This is one way in which hedging can be done. This is very simple way, but you can also do hedging by a call option or put option. कैसे? What was call option? Right to buy the share. Call option was right to buy the share and put option was right to sell the shares. अब सोचो, you are thinking कि यार prices of Reliance में go down, है ना? तो let me buy put option of prices are 900. If price go down a lot, 700 पे चला जाएगा, मैं पुट ऑप्शन पे से किस पे बेच पाऊंगा? 900 पे। उसका प्राइस 700 होगा, 900 पे बेच पाऊंगा। तो हैव आई रिड्यूस माय रिस्क अ बिट, है ना? तो these are different mechanism by which hedging occurs. Nowadays, future and option से people try to do a lot of hedging. Let's understand it थोड़ा और अंदर घुस के, but in very common language, very simple language, have we been able to understand hedging? Sometimes hedging can also be achieved by diversification. Now, what is diversification? Let's say I'm only invested in Reliance Industries. I have 1 crore rupees and मैंने 1 crore rupees पूरे Reliance Industries में डाल दिए। Fine. अब now Reliance Industries के shares गिर सकते हैं, मुझे वो डर है, but गिरेंगे तो all my 1 crore rupees में get impacted. So what I do is I take some money or keep it in shares or keep it in cash. That was one form of hedging. Or keep it in government bonds. Government bonds तो जो मुझे promise कर रहा है, जो whatever is the yield, it will keep giving me that yield. Or put it in companies like other companies, TCS, Wipro, etc. अब Reliance गिरेगा, ये भी गिरे, जरूरी नहीं है ना। तो hedging can be done in many different ways. But understand the meaning of hedging. Meaning of hedging is reducing your risk. But when you reduce your risk, your profit also reduces. When you reduce your risk, your profit also reduces. Why? अब आपने सपोज you had 1 लाख रुपीज इन स्टॉक्स, आपने उसे बेच के 50,000 कैश में रख लिया, 50,000 स्टॉक में है, एंड नाउ वो स्टॉक के प्राइसेस बढ़ गए, बट योर 50,000 इज इन कैश, इसका प्राइस तो नहीं बढ़ पाया ना। तो इफ एंटायर 1 lakh rupees was there in stock, would your profit have been higher? But to reduce your risk, you kept some money in cash. That was hedging. But does it also have a negative aspect? You did not get the kind of profit that you would have got. It's common sense also. When you try to reduce your risk, chances of your profit also reduces. Scale of your profit can also reduce. Are we understanding what hedging is? Pakka? So, hedging is a risk management strategy employed to offset losses in investment by taking an opposite position in related asset. The reduction in risk provides by hedging also typically results in reduction in potential profit. क्या समझ में आ रहा है? पक्का? ये सो रहा है लड़का? नहीं? समझ में आ रहा है? पक्का? Okay. Hedging requires one to pay money for the protection it provides, known as premium. Premium is what? Premium is like आप जो प्रोटेक्शन अचीव कर रहे हो उसके लिए आपको कुछ पे करना पड़ेगा, दैट इज प्रीमियम। तो इन केस ऑफ कैश, व्हेन यू प्रीमियम वाज व्हाट? प्रीमियम वाज आपका जो प्रॉफिट एक्स्ट्रा हो सकता था, आप वो नहीं हो पाया, दैट वाज द प्रीमियम। Hedging strategies typically involve derivatives such as options and future contract. Now, how using derivatives, how using options and future contract, we will do hedging. Let's understand. Suppose Mr. A owns share of Reliance Industries. है ना? Although A believes in the company in long run, A is worried about some short-term losses in Reliance Industries. So to protect himself from a fall in Reliance, he can put a put option on the company which gives you right to sell Reliance at a specific price, also called the strike price. This strategy is called married put. If your stock prices tumble below the strike price, these losses will be offset by gains in the put option, because you have the right to put option में क्या है, you have the right to sell stocks at some particular price. Now reality में Reliance के prices उससे भी नीचे गिर गए, so you will be able to buy it at low price and you have right of selling it in higher prices. तो आपने अपना risk reduce कर लिया put option से. But the problem is, suppose Reliance prices did not increase or do not decrease. वो 1000 rupees थे, वो वहां से 1500 रुपए हो गए, and you have put a put option of 900. Now you will, because it's option, you will say no, I do not want to go with this option, but उसके लिए आपको कुछ प्रीमियम पे करना पड़ेगा. तो थोड़ा सा what happened? Profit reduced, hedging. The risk that you would have taken, that has reduced, but at the same time profit has also reduced. Okay, let's take another example. Let's consider scenario of refinery company X. अब एक कंपनी के पर्सपेक्टिव से, suppose X is worried about volatility of crude oil prices. The company may face deep trouble if the crude oil prices skyrocket. Because it's a refinery, so it has to buy crude oil, और वो processed refined oil बेच रही है. To protect against uncertainty of crude oil price, X can enter into a future contract. A future contract is, तो future contract में they may do what? They may say, I'll buy crude at $80 per barrel. अब prices चाहे 120 पे चले जाए, I'm buying it at $80 per barrel, so I'm safe. But the point is, in reality, price may go down to $60. तो उसका loss भी हो जाएगा मुझे, वो loss भी हो सकता है. But by ensuring कि I'm able to get crude oil at $80 per barrel, I have hedged my risk. What if it had gone to $150? It would have created problems. Got it? Are we understanding it? Hedging क्या होता है? Hedging, how can we achieve hedging by future option? How can we achieve hedging by future? How can we achieve it by option? Right? How can we achieve it by converting our asset into cash or investing it, let's say, land? कई बार लोग रिस्क, यार स्टॉक मार्केट थोड़ा गड़बड़ कर रहा है, लेट मी इन्वेस्ट इन लैंड. बट ऐसा हो सकता है लैंड प्राइसेस में आल्सो गो डाउन. दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स में आल्सो अकर. तो हेजिंग 100% हेजिंग आप अचीव नहीं कर पाते. ओके, व्हाट इज परफेक्ट हेज? Perfect hedge is a position that eliminates the risk of existing position or one that eliminates all market risk. अब what is that? That is, अभी हमने जैसे मार्केट में ऑयल प्राइसेस आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू गो डाउन, गो अप, है ना? सॉरी, एक्सपेक्टेड टू गो अप. तो आई थिंक, अरे यार, आई नीड 1 लाख लीटर्स ऑफ ऑयल. तो लेट मी गो फॉर फ्यूचर 1 लाख लीटर्स ऑफ ऑयल एट पर्टिकुलर प्राइस लेवल. लेट मी गो फॉर लाइक 100% हेजिंग. मुझे कोई रिस्क लेना ही नहीं. A perfect hedge position has a 100% inverse correlation to initial position where the profit and loss from the underlying asset and hedge position are equal. A perfect hedge is rarely achieved. It is rarely worth the cost except in most volatile market. Rarely achieved और rarely worth the cost. हम इसलिए बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि if you go for future, कि मैं पूरा तेल future fixed price पे ले लूं, उसमें ऐसा हो सकता है ना कि prices में actually not increase that much जो आप सोच रहे थे, and prices में actually come down. Right? So liquid assets like cash and short-term notes and investment like gold and real estate can be considered a perfect hedge in volatile market. Market is very volatile. You don't want to take any risk. You convert everything into gold. You convert everything into cash. तो you may say कि हाँ, अब मैं कोई रिस्क ले ही नहीं रहा हूँ. But यहाँ पे भी रिस्क हो सकता है because gold prices में differ, rupee may depreciate, all those things may also be there. So perfect hedge may not be possible. Achieving perfect hedge is very rare, but it has negative also. It often limits the gain of stock position while trying to protect the underlying asset. Gain can be reduced when we try to achieve perfect hedge. Now, what is hedge ratio? Hedge ratio is आपका कितना एक्सपोजर है, उसमें से कितने को आपने हेज किया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई हैड स्टॉक ऑफ 1 लाख रुपीज, रिलायंस के स्टॉक्स ऑफ 1 लाख रुपीज. आई वाज वरीड व्हाट विल हैपन टू इट्स प्राइस. तो 50% मैंने कैश में कन्वर्ट कर लिया. तो हाउ मच हेजिंग हैव आई डन? 50%. So it is the ratio of the value of a position protected through a hedge with size of the entire position. So if you hold $1,000 of foreign equity and enter a hedge to protect against losses, you may hedge $5,000. नहीं, 5,000 नहीं, $500 होना चाहिए था. अच्छा, या तो इसे 10,000 कर. You have $10,000 in foreign equity and enter into a hedge to protect against losses. You may hedge $5,000 with currency position. तो यहाँ पे hedge ratio क्या हो जाएगा? Protected डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल इक्विटी. तो प्रोटेक्टेड 5,000 है, टोटल आपका 10,000 था. तो व्हाट इज योर हेज रेशियो? आपने अपना 50% तो हेज कर लिया, बट देन आपका प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी भी अकॉर्डिंगली रिड्यूस हो सकता है. You may be at advantage if the stock prices drastically reduce. You'll be like, चलो 50% तो मेरा reduce नहीं हुआ. तो in this way hedging is there, but it also reduces the profit that you would have made. Basis risk. It is the financial risk that offsetting investment in a hedging strategy will not experience price changes in entirely opposite direction from each other. So basically, basis risk is what? Investment in a hedging strategy. When you invest in hedging strategy, in that scenario, what happens? अभी आपका $1,000, $10,000 पूरा invested होता stock में, तो it could have increased your profit. The profit that did not occur is this. Are we clear? Participatory notes. Let's अब यहीं रुकते हैं आज, है ना? We'll continue with participatory notes tomorrow. But कल हमें क्या करना है primarily? External sector. तो I'll give you tomorrow. I'll give you one booklet on external sector, and day after tomorrow also I'll give you one booklet on external sector. उसमें मैं फिर से बजट इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया के सारे अपडेट्स करके दे दूंगा आपको, जो अभी जुलाई वाला आया है, एंड फिर फरवरी वाला तो बाद में होता रहेगा.
Hello friends, I hope you enjoyed the economy video. In this series, between 10th of March and 17th of March, we'll be releasing 2 videos every day and ensure that your entire syllabus of the basics of economy for preliminary examination is getting completed. Please share your feedback in the comment section and do share this video more and more so that more students would be able to reach it and we would also be able to reach more students. In the feedback section, in the comment section, we have seen some requests for science module, environment module as well. Now, it won't be possible for us to put the whole course on YouTube, but what we have done is, we have made the courses or individual modules available in only 1,000 rupees till 20th March. So, you can buy science module in 1,000 rupees, environment module in 1,000 rupees, modern India module, ancient culture module, geography module, polity module, even when international bodies and mapping ka module aayega, that also you'll be able to buy in 1,000 rupees if you use the coupon code LevelUp Holi. There is a Holi offer available till 20th of March. You can do that. Okay, so we have made it very, very affordable so that everyone would be able to do it. Everyone would be able to get it. So I hope you enjoy these videos a lot, learn a lot from it, and clear your preliminary examination. In the end, I also have one more announcement. Our GS Foundation course for 2026 have also started. So not for you people, the people who are watching this video are already preparing for 2025 exam, but your junior, your other friend who may be preparing for 2026. If you have good experience at LevelUp IAS, do recommend us. Do tell your friends about us because for us, word of mouth is very important. I promise you here that at LevelUp IAS, we will provide the best GS Foundation program, the most comprehensive GS Foundation program in one of the most affordable cost for everyone. We will make sure that your juniors, your younger brothers and sisters who are studying with us at GS Foundation for the exam 2026 will be the best prepared people for 2026 preliminary and mains examination. So this is another request. Please do share, do subscribe to our channel, and please do recommend our GS Foundation program also to your juniors or your younger brothers and sisters. Thank you very much.